Right. Welcome to the podcast. Podcast.
Part 1 of 2.
We're going to talk about like movies and stuff. So we watched the Avengers Endgame trailer. It came out yesterday with the Super Bowl. Now we're going to talk about it because it was amazing.
First of all, Josh, why don't you tell everyone who's actually here?
That might be a good
Apologies.
idea.
Could be a good idea.
I am Pacey. This is Josh. Then that is Paul, and that's Dan.
Dan.
And behind the camera, we have Jack,
Somewhere
the man
down
behind the
the
scenes.
street.
But so
Some
Avengers
fun-
Endgame. New trailer came out last night.
The post.
What do we think?
The poster was
Yeah.
so good. Basically what it said was they what to do now that they're gone. Obviously,
Gives it a
I
real
forgot
atmosphere.
to tell the thing, but what to do now that they're gone, and it was amazing.
Gives it a real atmosphere.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Because
It's just I love that all of these trailers are literally taken from the first 30 minutes of the film.
20,
To avoid,
20.
First 20 minutes of the
Yeah.
film to avoid
And
spoilers.
already.
Now,
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing that from the first 20 minutes they're able to build such
I don't
hype and
think it is.
suspense.
yeah,
that's
like
amazing.
with the
Spoilers. By
Yeah,
the way.
spoilers.
yeah spoilers with the whole with the whole
Put that in
as the fans call it the snapping, but as Marvel's called it the decimation.
That's
that-
a lot more powerful.
The impact of that hasn't been like, as the only one
Yeah.
here who really watches the Netflix shows, because when Marvel did that, they kind of screwed over the Netflix shows. So every Netflix season has been set before
The snap.
Endgame.
This is
Yeah.
the only
I mean, Infinity War. Like, you know, in like I would have really loved if in Daredevil season 4,
Daredevil
if
season-
we ever get it,
Yeah.
if Netflix, listen here,
Daredevil season 4 got snapped away.
listen here, Netflix, uncancel Daredevil or I'm coming for ya.
Nobody's gonna watch this, especially Netflix.
They might.
I don't know, it could be pretty fun.
But
watching four
That
idiots.
yeah, that would be amazing. Just watching like obviously
Watching
I
my
was-
favourite childhood
Yeah,
heroes
like-
die.
it would just be I just really love.
The series or something.
Yeah, because
But the thing is though, it set the scene so well with that empty baseball
Yeah.
stadium. That was really.
That was
But
really good.
I really don't think that everything in the trailers is in the first 20 minutes. There's a shot of Iron Man working with Nebula, and it looks
oh, that
like
was Iron Man. I thought it was
yeah,
Thor.
no, it was Tony Stark because
Nah,
that
Thor
they
was
were the
one
only
at
two.
the exit of like the cave.
Yeah,
That was-
they were the only two left.
forgot about
They were
that
the only two left on
Yeah,
Titan
Titan.
at the end of Infinity War. So
Yeah.
I reckon that's gonna be
They'll
part of a
try and get
montage
off
later on
with
in the
it.
scene with
Yeah,
them trying to get home.
probably.
And then they're trying to get home. It then
Wait,
leads on
guys,
to the
wait.
thing.
In the first trailer, Iron Man was on his own. Do you reckon Nebula sacrifices herself?
No,
As
she's
like the technical
No.
part
No,
of it?
well,
It's
if
like
you
that.
think about it,
she's a
I don't think-
contender for beating Thanos with
True,
the.
true.
yeah, because of course in the comic Infinity Gauntlet, Nebula was the one who took the gauntlet from Thanos,
Nebula
and
didn't ever seem like that much of like a core villain to me. She just kind of seemed like an angsty teen. in
Yeah,
the
the
first couple Guardians of the Galaxies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was good, but it didn't have a good
Yeah.
villain.
yeah, but
Nebula wasn't good.
Yeah.
about the Thor thing, apparently I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Him doing that entrance, apparently he's entering Thanos' home. I don't think that means Titan, but the farm. The farm that he went to at the
Oh,
end
that
of
would be
Infinity War.
good.
Good
because
old Farmer
really-
Thanos.
I think out of everyone, Thor would have the most anger.
He would have the most
Thanos
passion to
killed,
beat Thanos
Thor
anyway.
just saved the Asgardians,
Thor deserves
became
to kill
king
Thanos.
just for half of the Asgardians and his brother to be murdered. Spoilers.
By the way,
I
I'm
just
really
wanna-
sad that they just like wasted Drax,
Yes.
like with his
Yeah.
revenge thing. I thought that was gonna
Yeah.
be.
I just want to mention something. The logistics of this snapping and half of the universe disappearing. Theoretically, every single human being on Earth could have
True.
died.
True.
Because there are so many, like,
Wait,
beings in
do you
the
reckon,
entire
do you reckon
galaxy.
it's 50% of every planet to keep
Yeah,
Yeah,
No.
but you
I
see,
love that.
they couldn't
No,
do
I
that
don't
though,
think so.
because
I
then
know.
would it be 50% of people that were born on the planet
Huh.
that are currently on the planet?
Yeah.
Did they do 50% of the cast that died? I'm not sure how many people were
Yeah, I
in.
think
No, I
it's a
think
bit
it was
more.
like 60 odd.
I should have
percent.
worn my bloody Infinity War shirt with all the cast on it. Oh, that would have been beautiful.
I'll have a look, but I'm pretty sure they just got. It was like 67 odd percent. It was really high for the entire cast because that shot in the trailer of like Rocket and all of the other ones
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
Across
Oh
the thing.
man, Rocket's on his
And
own.
the
That's
Oh, no.
and Rocket when he opened up the door, that looked like a sort of
yeah.
the background to like what could have been the farm and stuff.
Yeah, like I'm just extremely hyped. I want to know, like, there's just so many questions. Like, how is Captain Marvel gonna play into this?
Oh yeah, because she's not in the trailers.
Well, of course
So,
she wouldn't. It's going to be a
yeah.
massive reveal if she even appears at all.
Yeah, I hope
I
she's
think
not,
she
like,
will
a
be.
main part to this
She
today,
will
because
be.
this
She will
is-
be.
To
She
be
will
fair,
be.
Just ruins- she's
if
been brought
Captain
in
Marvel-
suddenly and then suddenly
Yeah,
it's
right,
just-
guys.
she's the main
Well,
character.
I think
I
that's
like
why
that.
they've done it in the 90s, Captain Marvel in the 90s, because really Captain Marvel is going to change the
Is there
MCU
any
in
hype
general.
For the Captain Marvel movie, like the
I'm
trailers
quite
give
hyped
all
for-
Yeah,
away.
I'll watch it.
To be honest, I'm not hyped for the character of Captain Marvel. She's good. She's good. I haven't read in comics with her. I have Civil War Part 2,
Oh, no,
the comic,
she's-
but I haven't read it.
yeah.
Haven't read it yet. I need to. But
Wait, was it you who told me about Captain Marvel in the Civil War comics and how her character is?
she's not in the first Civil War comic. She's in the
Okay,
second
okay,
one.
I don't know who
She
I talked
replaces
to.
Captain America in
Yeah.
the second part because, spoiler alert for the Civil War comics, there's a follow-up series, The Death of Captain America, where he's sniped by the villain Crossbones.
Which
Oh,
was defeated
Crossbones
in.
killed him.
Yep.
Which was
I didn't know
defeated
about
in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, but that's not the comics.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly. So
MCU.
it's
But
not gonna
anyway-
happen in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, but
Civil War's already
the
been
one
done.
reason I'm hyped about Captain Marvel, Skrulls. The
Yeah,
introduction of the
that's
Skrull.
gonna be
Yes.
interesting.
Hashtag Rhodey as a skull.
Also, Fantastic Four might.
Rhodey's
maybe,
a bad character.
'cause Skrull
Rhodey's
is like-
awful. Fight me.
Okay, sorry about that. Bit of technical difficulties. But
It was
Where we
Jack's
left-
fault.
it was Jack's fault. Where we left off, we were talking about the Skrulls and how they'll impact the MCU. So, in the comics, peaceful race until their war with the Kree, which, as we know, the film Captain Marvel is gonna focus on because Captain Marvel is a Kree. She is half Kree, half human.
Spoilers.
Now, in the comics, there is a comic.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, called Secret Invasion. Spoilers for the Secret Invasion comic. Everyone is a Skrull. Iron Man's a Skrull. Captain America's a Skrull. Turns out,
Call him?
Captain America.
Don't call him that.
Why?
Leave him alone.
Fine. Nomad's a Skrull, even though he's not Nomad at that point.
Shut up.
But so obviously with this introduction of these big villains, we can't trust anyone in the
Yeah,
MCU.
yeah. I remember.
Obviously,
I
I got a
disagree.
comic, one comic on it, and this was back
They-
before
Yeah.
I was like obsessed with Marvel. I was just like, oh, that's cool. Didn't understand.
Yeah,
it.
obviously-
For them to just retcon a bunch of like characters and
Mm.
just be like, these characters have been here for 10 years. Yeah, we totally planned for them to be this.
yeah,
all
I
along.
think
Yeah.
it.
I
There's
highly
only
doubt
there's
it.
only a few options, and of course in the comics, the Skrull were first introduced as the Fantastic Four villains, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
Super Skrull is a different kind of Skrull. Instead of shapeshifting, he gained the powers of all four Fantastic Four members.
How did that happen?
I can't remember.
Oh, he just
But,
like.
Yeah, basically,
one day just,
basically,
"Oh."
yeah, basically, he can like
Rock
he'll
fist and
stretch a
everything.
limb, he'll turn
Yeah.
invisible, a fist will like go. He can combine them as well, so he can stretch
just
a rock
realised
fist that's on
He
fire
could
and invisible.
Totally do like the fire whip attack from like.
Yeah,
Show
exactly.
Our
But,
Lord
I
thing.
have an idea. Someone that could definitely be a Skrull is who I don't know his name, but
Imagine
the
if Nick Fury
General
was a
Thunderbolt Ross.
Skrull.
no, Black Panther, right? This is gonna sound really weird, but I have my reasoning. You know his like best mate in the film, T'Challa's like best mate, the one that sort
The
of
one,
si-
the one who
The one-
rides
oh,
the
yeah.
rhino.
yeah.
Oh, the guy from Get Out.
Yeah, I reckon he's got a decent shout,
Nah,
right? Really, because he was like very much on the side of T'Challa. He was best mates with him, and then he sort of realized, maybe Killmonger has got more of. a
Yeah, but
sort of-
then what point did a Skrull invade Wakanda?
Yeah, nah,
when did it invade Earth?
Yeah.
The 90s, apparently, according to Captain Marvel, in cinemas next month, I think.
Yeah.
Third.
Oh,
We're not
speaking
sponsored.
of which, we got Game of
unfortunately.
Thrones
Give us
coming out
money,
and
Marvel.
Infinity War in the same month, so that'll be
Damn.
interesting.
But I think two good options: General Thunderbolt Ross, because the last time we saw him in the MCU before Civil War was the Incredible Hulk starring Edward Norton,
oh yeah,
which
I really want to see Red Hulk.
some people can argue, is it an MCU film?
Mm.
I think it is. It's been referenced enough. Of course, the deleted
the
end
start,
scene
wasn't it?
where he goes to the hills and tries to
Yeah.
commit suicide by putting a bullet in his mouth. And then you see the Hulk spits it out, and there's even a cameo to Captain America, because
Yeah.
when the Hulk smashes all the ice, you can see his shield buried in the ice.
No, really.
Yeah,
Really?
and then in
That's
Avengers,
I
pretty
didn't know
sick.
that.
in
That's cool.
Avengers, there's a scene where Bruce Banner grabs the scepter and he starts getting a little angry, and he goes, years ago I tried to put a bullet in my mouth, and the other guy spat it out. So clearly,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Abomination
yes.
has been referenced several times in
I
Agents
love
of Shield.
Abomination's new design. Like
Yeah,
in the
but
Lord of
is
Rings.
Is the Agents of Shield even canon?
It is,
Is it
sadly.
actually?
Yeah.
Wait, did Abomination show up in?
Well,
So
in
Yeah,
in
Coulson
it doesn't
died in
really
Avengers.
Makes sense, does it?
in Agents of Shield, they explain he's a clone. The
But that's
clone.
just-
Yeah, I know.
That's such
It's
a
dumb.
cop-out.
BS.
Skrull, guys, he's a Skrull.
I know it's dumb. I know it's dumb.
That's a good point.
I know it's dumb. But Agents of Shield have done some pretty decent things. They put Ghost Rider in. A different
Wait,
Ghost
I
Rider.
haven't seen Agents of Shield.
Yeah,
I need to
basically
watch
there's-
this. Ghost Rider's
I'm
like
probably
There's
favorite.
different.
not gonna watch
There's
Agents
there's
of Shield,
different
I
kinds of
have to
Ghost Riders. There's the original Ghost Rider who rode horseback, who we saw Sam Elliott play in the Nicolas Cage film. There's the one
Yes.
Nicolas Cage
Still not
played,
sponsored.
Johnny Storm, who does make a cameo in Agent Shield. I'll explain why. They choose a different one. I can't remember his name. He's like a Hispanic man. He drives a muscle car. And one day he's in a car crash. He begs because his little brother's in the car crash. His little brother gets paralyzed. He begs to live, and then Johnny Storm's Ghost Rider appears to him, and just like in the film, tells him to sign a contract, selling his soul to the devil, and he becomes the new Ghost Rider. So instead of the motorcycle, which we saw Johnny
Is this
Storm
all in
use,
Agents of Shield?
yeah, season
Wow,
4.
Fair enough.
I haven't even
So
watched
skip
Agents.
to season 4
Spoilers
then.
again.
I've never
guys.
watched Agents of Shield. It's not worth my time. But
I just want to.
So
I'll,
we
I'll
stopped
watch
But
it,
yeah,
about
he's
that.
definitely-
It's bad.
so definitely with. So obviously back to the scrolls.
The main topic.
Yeah.
Nice
then-
ramble.
Thunderbolt Ross appears out of nowhere in Civil War and wants to get rid of the heroes. Why would he want to do that? Because they're a threat to the Skrull invasion.
Oh, true.
But-
true.
That's a shame.
Then
Someone-
then couldn't we consider every single person that signs the Accords
No.
to be one?
Wouldn't it be interesting
No, 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 no,
if
but-
Hydra was ran by a Skrull? That'd be interesting.
I'm not
That's
sure,
a
but
shout, actually.
do you know who else agreed with Thunderbolt Ross to sign the appeal and survive something else the Skrulls have? They have pretty decent healing factors.
Like regeneration
Something
and
that would
everything.
allow them to survive. I don't know, falling from the sky in
But
an
he
iron
doesn't!
suit.
He doesn't. Right,
Rhodey
okay,
does
yeah,
fall
sorry.
out of the sky.
Yes, he falls out the sky. But have you not watched Infinity War?
Yeah.
Have you seen his legs? They're all mechanical and
The
stuff.
Skrulls are smart. They could do it. I think Rhodey is a good candidate for
I
being a
don't
Then,
Skrull.
know.
then to be fair, yes, okay, if that's true, then it's a good shout because there is a scene in the new Endgame trailer where the other character suspected of being a Skrull, Ant-Man, suits up next to him.
Also,
Mm.
a
That is
reason
a
why
great scene in
people
the trailer, I love
That is a
It's
brilliant-
A reason
Ant-Man
why-
is a Skrull. He was from the.
I love Ant-Man.
a reason
Really
some
well, I
I
people
hope he's not.
Yep, he could be because he was stuck in the
definitely top
spoiler
five.
alert for Ant-Man and Wasp. Click
I
away.
haven't watched that, but.
Never mind.
That's one
I'll
thing
be
that
quiet
I'm
then.
picking
Okay,
on.
But,
okay.
Anyway, obviously Iron Man 2. When Rhodey steals the suit from Iron Man, he steals the suit at night and then he flies to a military airport. Now Tony Stark lives in LA or something. The location where that was filmed was like an hour drive from where Tony Stark would live. In an Iron Man suit, it should not have taken him from night to day to fly to that airstrip. A lot of people say during that time, because he had managed to steal an Iron Man suit, he was abducted by the Skrulls.
Hmm.
Which also,
Yeah, but would it
Tony
take that
Stark-
long?
technically the main character of the MCU. I think we can agree.
I disagree.
I think it would be a really-
I feel.
I think it would be a massive character moment if it was revealed his best friend was never his best friend.
I think it'd be a
Fair,
good
it would
reveal.
Poor
not
Can I
darkness
just say,
to it.
poor Tony. He's stuck in this spaceship, and then now if this happens, his best mate is a bloody Skrull.
He lost his
To
son.
be fair,
He's
He
like,
lost his
yeah.
metaphorical son.
Yeah.
he says
yeah.
that he has survived 4 days without his like water ran out like 3 days before the thing.
Yeah.
You can only survive like 2 days
No,
without water.
it
I
is 3.
swear.
You can survive
No,
3 days.
7 days
Is-
maximum.
I swear
Really?
it's
I
not
thought it was
7
free.
days.
No, it is
It's about
7 days.
7.
From what I
As
learned,
long
this
as
is
it's
just from movies. I heard
I give a
3
real-life
days,
example,
But I
it's a
can't
3
imagine
days
that the
without
water that
water,
he did have
a
was
month
much.
without food.
Yeah, you can survive.
By the way,
a month.
guys, can we just point out the obvious kind of like irony of the fact that he's sitting in a spaceship with the fact that he was in a cave and he made an Iron Man suit in a cave.
Yeah.
He has
That's
all this
fair.
alien technology, and what does he do with it? He
Nothing.
just sits there and mopes
Yeah.
about. Like what?
He will definitely make a suit.
Yeah, he
out of
has to, and
out of
that'll
the
be
ship.
a cool new like space suit, like
Right,
from
okay.
parts from Titan.
Speaking of Iron Man and the Iron Man films, they're all bad, by the way. Let's
No, they're
talk.
not.
Questionable.
First one was good.
There we go. Segue to good films, or was it
Bad movies.
bad
Movies.
movies?
Bad
that
We like.
love. So go on then. Explain why, because a lot of people agree with me when they say the Iron Man films, especially the second one, isn't up to the standard.
I will
of the
admit,
other ones.
Iron Man 2, 3.
Iron
not
Man
that great.
2 and 3 are poor.
Well, it's funny.
I
Iron
feel
Man
like-
2's on my list for bad movies.
I feel like
love.
Iron Man 3 is
'Cause I do
actually
like that
good, but the
film.
plot
So,
disappointed us too
Han,
much.
Paul, why don't you explain to us why you love Iron Man 2, even though some people
I
agree
really
it is a
don't
bad
know.
movie?
It is a bad movie, but I just find I love the Iron Man movies. I don't know why. They're just
Obviously-
I don't
Same,
like the
same.
Iron Man
Kind of,
movies.
With Iron Man 2, I don't think it's bad. It's just a lot of missed potential.
Mm.
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of missed potential. We didn't need, what was his name? Hammer? The Hammer dude?
See, I can't even
Yeah.
remember 90%
But
of what happened in that
I
film.
think we can all agree that suitcase suit scene on the racing
That
track,
was
one of the
amazing.
greatest Iron Man scenes of all time.
Okay, yeah.
So Iron Man 2, I'm agreeing with Paul.
Thank
It's
you.
not a great
It's not a
movie.
good movie.
See,
By Marvel
I-
standards,
It has
that's the funny
good
thing.
things in it.
That's the funny thing. By Marvel standards, yeah, that's a bad film. If you go any other film, Iron Man 2, average.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
MCU
that's
MCU
fair.
wise, Iron Man 2.
Because all MCU films are so highly rated and
Yeah.
stuff.
So obviously Iron Man
on
2,
my
I'm
list.
agreeing with Paul.
Thank you.
It's not got the highest rating,
Yeah, it's not.
but I would
It
love.
is-
I
it's
would
a
love
pretty
to watch.
epic moment.
I would
They're-
easily sit through all the Iron Man films.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're just clever.
But I think we can all agree there shouldn't be any more standalone Iron Man films.
Nah.
No, I think
They
he's
are
always
big
better in
third-
the teams.
The
Well,
second,
guys,
the second
you know
and the
what's
third
interesting?
weren't strong enough to warrant a fourth.
I
For
actually
me.
What's
love the third
interesting,
one.
you know-
See,
It's-
I think
it's
the
clever.
fourth rendition of Thor will be amazing.
I don't think they'll
Thor.
do.
I think they should end all of
Chris
them on
Hemsworth has a
three.
list.
Yeah,
but
They
I-
should end all
Thor.
standalone
They
on
were
three.
all their contracts only signed for a trilogy. So.
Okay,
Hold on, Dan had a point.
Yeah, just
Also-
quickly. You know how in Iron Man 3 the Mandarin was like literally just teased so much.
Yeah.
And how it like everyone was disappointed with it.
Yeah.
Marvel actually made
A short-
separate short film.
Hail the King.
Yeah, Hail the King, and it literally just stated that the Mandarin
Is
is a
real.
thing in MCU. And the thing is, if like I want to see the Mandarin, I really do,
I-
because
I would
haven't
love to
had
see the
the
Mandarin.
sort of pleasure of being.
Did,
Yeah.
I'm not into comics.
That's
that
Did
much.
you ever
not
watch
sure,
the,
but it was
um,
funny, the
I'm
I'm not
reveal
sure if
thing.
anyone ever watched this. Oh god, there was a TV show years ago, an Iron Man one where he was a teenager. I think it was called. I can't remember what it was called. Had an
Iron Man.
amazing theme song. It was Iron Man something, but it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It was pretty decent. The Mandarin was a big
Yeah.
component in that, but they did kind of in that
I
show.
think I know what you're
In
talking
that
about.
show, it was a big guy, and then his teenage son overthrows him. And it's a bit like the
This
Mandarin.
little teenager just goes,
How
"Go
did we
away,
move-
Dad,
How,
go."
how did we move away from Avengers straight back into the Avengers?
Because Paul brought us into the MCU. Anyway, who else would like to talk about their
I
bad
would.
movie they love?
I would. Shut up. It is
Shut
good.
up, Jack.
Bad movies that we like. Okay, so Pacey hates both of mine, but me and Jack have got a big up and rep. Okay, the
Ye-
bad movies I love.
Don't say
Both
ridiculous
Adam
six.
Sandler, The Cobbler, and The Ridiculous Six.
God
I know you
damn
hate
it, Josh!
I
The
know you hate
Ridiculous
it.
Six is not funny.
is.
It's highly racist.
Yeah, but I didn't see the racist in it. Get your
I
mind
gotta
out.
count-
of it.
Did you not see the Native American scenes?
I'm
Those
not,
were highly racist.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm not gonna comment on if highly racist
Right.
jokes are funny or not, given the right context.
Right, but let me.
But
But the cast is
Let's see.
amazing.
No, they're
Adam
not.
Sandler,
Isn't
Taylor Lautner, who I
who
hate
is
by
it?
the way, but he's
Mm.
still like a big person. Rob Schneider,
Is a stapler.
Terry Crews,
Terry Crews.
Danny Trejo, and Steve Buscemi.
Wait, Danny
Steve
Trejo.
Buscemi.
Whiplash was in. Oh no,
He's not Whiplash, you moron.
Danny Trejo. Sorry, I was thinking of the other guy. Danny Trejo. He's
Yeah.
Machete.
Okay,
Oh,
and
yeah.
one more. I actually brought along a special guest to help me introduce
Oh, no.
the other one that
I've been watching the podcast. for some days now.
an amazing film that people hate, The Muppets.
What Muppets film do people hate?
Yeah. He just wanted a, he
I
wanted
just
a-
wanted an
yeah,
excuse
he
to
just
bring
wanted a
Kermit the
cameo.
Frog.
Like-
Dude, just sit him on your lap or
I
shoulder
think
or
all the
something.
Muppet films are universally quite average and
yeah.
good. Like,
There
what's
was,
the
there
one?
was that one that was actually like a pretty big disappointment, I swear. It was one where I remember Tom Hiddleston was in it for like 2 seconds.
Tom Hiddleston. See, the only one I'm thinking of.
Just like
Yeet.
Kermit.
The only one I'm thinking of. The only Muppet film I'm thinking of that some people may have not liked is It's the one with the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
No, but that was like I didn't love that film, but I thought some of like the dancing, the singing and stuff. It was good. Fine.
You may not have seen it behind the camera. Jack creeped past the cameras to pick up Kermit.
I prefer this kid anyway.
Okay. So
but the Adam Sandler films. I mean, okay, it's racist, but aren't we all a little bit? No.
Yeah.
But I thought the funny bits were funny, and the cobbler is such an interesting.
What is the cobbler, by the way?
The cobbler is
Basically-
the one where Adam Sandler he plays a cobbler. Shocker. Spoiler
What
alert,
is
by
a
the
cobbler
way.
first?
So,
someone
like,
who
they-
fixes shoes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so every single time.
Oh yeah,
Whenever he fixes someone's shoes, assuming they're like the same size as his,
With a magic
like,
machine.
size 7. Shut up. Well, yeah, with the specific machine, he turns into the person
When he
that,
wears
like,
the shoes.
The shoes that he wears.
Oh, it's like a whole
And it's
metaphor
such-
on step into the shoes of somebody
It's such an
else, yeah.
interesting
That's a
thing,
cool
and then
concept.
the running thing where I don't know how many of you actually seen. I know Jack.
I
has,
have.
But the way that Adam Sandler's character is always wearing the same red scarf and stuff, I think is really interesting. I think it's a brilliant
I'm gonna give
concept.
that
for
See,
a
film
film.
a reason.
It's
I
got
can
like
see that.
it's
I
got
can
like
watch that.
3% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is no.
No, the cobbler has
I'd
like
look.
14. I swear.
Yeah, it's not very high, but it is such an underrated film. I
Yeah.
might have it, but it is such a good quality
We
film.
could
The
discuss
reason-
Pixels
The
in a
reason
bit.
I would, the reason I would say
9%.
the
It has
cobbler,
9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The reason-
is amazing.
the cobbler suffered. I don't know if you lot know about this.
Hmm.
When it was released, it was only released in like a handful of cinemas.
Yeah, it wasn't released very much, and it was put like straight onto Netflix because that was around the sort of time
Yeah.
that Adam Sandler got his Netflix
The thing that
contract.
surprised me though, you didn't see any sort of the plot twists coming, whereas with most Adam Sandler films,
Yeah, it's so obvious.
I will admit, the
Yeah.
cobbler was very bold and different to
Exactly.
his current things,
And
but that
it's
doesn't mean it
so-
was
I'm gonna
great.
It's so different to Adam Sandler films. They're all like stupid, wacky humor, like
Yeah.
Grown Ups and
Oh, Grown
Jack
Ups are
and
good
Jill.
films.
Not all of them.
Grown Ups are
Really
a good
good.
film.
Some of his,
But he doesn't have very many serious roles. That's
yes,
what I'm
but
saying. There are
he
very
is
few.
quite good at his serious roles.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's why.
Well, The
Is
Wedding
so-
Singer?
Is Cobbler a fully serious non-com?
Yeah,
There's
it's
some-
very.
Oh,
It's,
I thought
There's
it'd be
some
a-
comedic moments,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's not typical Adam
thought it'd
Sandler
be
humor
funny.
where he screams and goes. Anyway, Dan, what is your bad movie? Well,
Well,
a bad
it's-
considered
it's
bad
a
movie
l-
that you love.
Well, lots of people comment on the Arnold Schwarzenegger films, just like a large majority of them being bad. Like, for example, like Commando. Was
Commando is good.
It's good. Yeah, that's the thing. Lots of people.
It's
consider
it's
some of
cheesy
them, yeah,
80s action, and I
exactly.
love
That's
it.
why I
If
love
you
it.
haven't seen Commando, it's a good
So,
watch.
Like in terms of mine's just more a vague variety of films that are like that cheesy kind of old style, and I just love it. Like because it's so much nostalgia, like packed into one movie. Especially
Yeah.
with, like I remember Total Recall. Have you seen that one?
I haven't,
it's
but
Arnold
I've seen.
Schwarzenegger.
I saw
Is that
the
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
yeah. I saw the
Oh,
reboot with Colin Farrell for
Mm.
school. It was a school project,
Oh.
but I do know he goes to Mars, the big dream kind of situation. Of course, I know of Total Recall,
Mm.
obviously.
We
But,
have noise in the background. We apologise.
Yes, it is
Mm.
picking up.
Oh well, who cares? Anyway, back to movies. That's why we're here. Movies.
Right, yeah, go on. What
Oh, is Dan done?
Yeah, I guess that'd be.
Okay.
Well, we could talk about Pixels as well.
Pixels
People say
again?
it's bad.
I
It's
haven't seen
so
that.
nostalgic.
I
It's
love it.
so good.
Also, can we talk about the special effects in Pixels? Because they're really clean.
They are amazing.
Like, I did not expect it to look so nice.
And the thing is, it's not even like.
Pixels is a bad film.
Why'd you not like it then, Pacey?
Yeah, go on then. Go on then.
Yeah, 'cause we
Explain
need to- we
what
need- need
what's
to
so
look at
bad
both
about what's so bad
perspectives
about
as to why it's a bad
Pixels.
film.
I'm not going to give my opinion
No,
because
well, that's why we're here
No,
to give your opinion.
because I know you're going to yell at me because I refuse to watch
Okay,
Pixels.
don't yell.
So
I-
you haven't even seen it,
I-
and you already think it's bad.
Well, I have seen
Okay,
the. I
that does-
technically have.
No, you haven't.
I haven't
Have you,
sat through the
guys,
film.
I have
Exactly.
one
I've seen
comment.
everything.
Just
I've seen
a-
everything wrong with Pixels.
Guys,
Exactly. You haven't seen
I
what's
have
wrong about.
one comment.
We could not
right?
trust his opinion. One sec, Dan. We could not
Alright.
trust his opinion. He hasn't seen Forrest Gump, so I'm
Yeah.
just.
Right, one comment. So basically, right now, Pacey represents like the 90% of Rotten Tomatoes users.
I'm not. I'm just not
I
gonna watch
haven't
the
seen
film
it,
and
but
assume
I
it's
hate it.
bad.
It's fine.
But
You
it
can
is
hate
genuinely
movies you
such a
haven't
good
seen.
film.
Hon, who
Black
here has what?
Panther, I kind of like dislike that because the stigma around it.
Who here has
Yeah.
watched the Twilight films?
I have, unfortunately.
Who
My
here
sister,
hates
man.
the Twilight
I
films?
hate Taylor Lautner. That's about it.
I just think they're pretty dull, but I don't like hate.
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen enough clips of them to give it a good review. Anyway.
Yeah.
I would much see. They're like the films. There are
It's
so
weird
many
with
of them.
Harry
I would
Potter.
much prefer to spend my time watching something different.
Anyway, Dan, what
Yeah,
were you
I
about
was
to
gonna
say?
say it's weird with Harry Potter because like passively when I'm not like I haven't watched films recently, I'm like, oh, they suck. But when I actually watch them, I'm like, oh, they're good.
To be
And it's
fair,
just this
though,
back forth.
My only issue with Harry Potter is the fact that if you're going to watch Harry Potter, you can't just like watch one.
Yeah, yeah.
You
to
have
watch,
to like
all
you
of
have
them.
to sit there.
That's
and watch
why-
the
that's why I
entire
can't
thing.
like
watch-
the first two. They're just a
That's
bit
why I
boring
can't
to
watch Harry Potter.
See, I love
Yeah.
the first one, but it's sort of like the
The
fifth
Harry
and
Potter
sixth
fandom
one
is
is sort
quite
of.
fucked.
Third one's
Meh.
probably my favourite one, if not.
Which one's
Yeah,
the
it's quite
which
fun.
one's
I
the
used to
Prisoner of
hate the
Azkaban?
The third one. I used to
Third
hate that
one.
one. but I
That's my
liked the
favourite,
third
'cause
one.
Brilliant film.
I quite
I
like
just
the
remember
mythos
werewolves.
of werewolves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
werewolves,
so much
I just
adventure
remember
in
that.
it,
Looked
it's
into that
brilliant.
camera.
What?
You looked into that camera.
That is our camera.
Yeah, you looked into that one.
No, I didn't. I looked at
Oh.
that.
All right. Okay.
Anyway,
what's this
bumbling
week
idiot.
about?
Okay. Now the moment we've all been waiting for.
No one cares about.
My
He hasn't seen
pick.
Forrest Gump.
Wait, what about Paul's?
Paul did his
Says
Iron Man
He
2.
has two others,
Oh,
though.
yeah, we started.
If
with
Paul
Paul,
wants
yeah.
to talk about his as well, do you
have,
want to
like, a different
mention another
'Cause
one
Of course, we kind of just.
besides
Uh,
Iron Man 2?
I
Because
think
we
this will
kind of
probably be cut.
Yeah.
took that one over.
Well, Ghostbusters remake.
You
I
like?
haven't seen-
Okay.
Oh,
And Karate
already.
Kid
I'm like
remake.
my neck's tensing up from that.
Again, I haven't
Even-
seen either
even-
of these, so I'm just gonna.
I did not.
Come
In-
in, come in. Me and you'll have our own conversation.
with
Oh,
with the
how did they-
Ghostbusters reboot.
That makes me sad. I'm not gonna get too deep into this because.
All
I
I'm
will
gonna
go
say
on a
before anybody
rant.
else speaks, I haven't seen it, but I like the
know.
idea of Melissa McCarthy in there because she is hilarious.
Obviously,
What's with this all-female cast, all-black cast?
Obviously-
Everyone- I'm not gonna go into detail on that because it is sketch
I'm not-
and everything. But like,
oh no! Apparently,
there's hypocrisy
Lord of the
about it.
Flies, the book,
Yes, no, that.
getting turned into a movie with an all-female
the
cast.
entire.
I'm not sure if that's
idea-
real.
It was
Yes,
because it
it's
was
been
boys.
it's been an idea for a long time, even when we were studying the book at school.
Yeah.
Because it was
But
boys.
it is so established
gonna
to
piss me
be
off,
a
'cause that's
film
ridiculous.
about if they're gonna do it, then they can't call it Lord of the Flies because the Lord of the Flies is completely based on the ideas of what a group of schoolboys from like the 60s and such,
Yeah.
how they would react
40s,
to just be.
World War
Is
II.
it actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah,
it's a
Yes,
Right.
because the
guy.
the author, can't remember his name. He fought.
Golding.
Yeah,
If
he
a bunch
fought
of
in World
kids
War
from-
Two.
Guys, if
Yeah.
a bunch of kids from like 2018 got put on that island, they'd be dead within seconds.
Where's
Let's be
my
honest.
Instagram?
They rely on their phones for everything.
But yeah,
They didn't have their phones, they're like,
Exactly.
But yeah,
where's
so-
Google?
Where's Google?
with the Ghostbusters reboot,
Oh,
the
Alexa?
cast quite funny, very funny. Melissa McCarthy done some very funny films.
She's brilliant.
Can't remember her name. I was gonna call her Kristen Wiig. She's
Mm.
not Kristen Wiig.
Mm.
That's a different actor.
She's a sexist.
She's very funny. I don't know her name from SNL, the blonde one.
to be fair, I
blonde
don't
one
know
with the
many
short
of
hair.
them at all. I just
Two
remember
Two
the
of them.
main character.
I know
Two of
Melissa
them were
McCarthy.
from SNL. Leslie
I-
Jones and the blonde one, the crazy one. She is very, very funny. But oh my god, Chris Hemsworth. That's one of his worst comedic
I
roles.
have one point-
That scene with the loud noise, and he goes, "Ah, my ears." That is
I have
so
I have
dumb.
one point to make about this movie, and it's just the pure hypocrisy of it, right? Because they changed it from typically what would happen, like in the older one, for example, the old Ghostbusters. It was an all-male cast with one female on the side, and then there was also the other guy who was comedic relief. But in this one, they swapped the roles, which is okay, but they made it so that all the females were like, basically average human beings and everything, but the one guy.
In a hat.
No! No! I refuse! No, that is my literal least favourite film of all time.
And this is the end of the podcast.
despise
Yeah.
that film.
Hi,
I will
everybody.
punch
So,
the shit out of you. Fuck the Seven Sins. It is an awful film.
Let
I've
me
never
justify
seen
Right,
my
okay.
reason.
No,
We've
I'm
got-
not-
You're gonna have to do a
I-
lot of
Josh,
justifying here to get
We've-
yourself to actually. Oh my
Josh, I let you talk about the bloody ridiculous six.
Yeah,
Let me
I'll let you speak
talk
about
about
it. I'm not
why
happy.
I love
It is
Cat.
literally my number one least favourite film.
Let
of
me
all
talk
time,
about why I love Cat in the Hat. By the way, 9%
never
on Rotten
seen it.
Tomatoes.
as it should.
But
Now,
Jack and
what
Jill
you
got
may not
3,
know-
so I mean,
This film is the reason we don't have live action Doctor Zeus
So
films,
it's
because
important.
his widow disliked the film so much. I don't understand. It's comedic gold. I will never not laugh at the cupcakeinator scene. That
I'm
is
just
one of
gonna
the.
sit here and stare at the
I
camera
was
and
watching-
laugh.
I've never watched it, so I don't have much
I
to
was.
say.
I will
but-
tell you some of the jokes. I was watching some of the scenes last night, and it was hilarious. The basic plot, Mike Myers, not the best makeup, not his funniest films, but
I'm
basically,
laughing how you look so short.
two
in the
kids,
film.
one wants to have fun, the other wants to follow the rules. Their mum's having a party. They can't mess up the house. The cat says, you know, we can have fun. We can have fun. We can have fun and have none of the consequences. It then leads to this whole big thing. Their dog goes missing. The mum's evil boyfriend steals it, played by Alec Baldwin, and there's some of the
PC.
jokes.
I
in this-
got the Cupcakeinator scene on, so I'll watch it with Paul and you can see
Oh,
our reaction after this.
So there's some other jokes that are comedic. There's so many. It's a child's film, but some of the jokes are
That's
just
right, Josh.
some of the jokes are just so grown up that children would never understand.
it's,
Like,
I don't like that
for
kind
example,
of dark gothic, slightly
one of-
comedy. It leaves a weird feeling, like in
One of his-
children's films.
one of his first jokes.
Starving almost.
Do you want to learn about something fun and magical? It's a contract. Sign here, here, here. And there's another scene. He's looking through his plans for what to do because the boyfriend's stolen the dog. He's going to show it to the mum. The son, he wants to send the son to military school. And
What
he
is
thinks
even the point of that film? What's the objective? Like,
to
what's
put Mike
what's-
Myers. Mike Myers was actually
what's the
forced to play
quest?
Cat in the
He
Hat.
needs to be
But
put
anyway,
down.
he looked through the plans. Plan A, have fun. Well, we've already done that one. Plan B, cut your losses and ditch the kids. I like that one. Plan C, trick the boyfriend into giving the dog back. I quite like Plan B. And they just scream at him. So he goes, okay, I'll get the dog back. Dresses up as this hippie. Mike Myers doing his hippie
I
voice.
think
He's
I
like,
remember that.
"Oh, excuse me, sir. Can you sign this petition to save this species? But to sign it, you're going to need to use this comically oversized pen that requires both hands." Alec Baldwin, the bad guy goes, "Can you hold my dog?" "Actually, I don't like to use the D word. I feel it desensitized, but I will happily hold your canine American."
Right, okay.
That movie was ahead of its time,
Yeah.
actually.
Can I back up my reasons for why I hate it?
I'll wait. Should I quickly? I'll
Please
watch the,
go.
Play
for
the
it.
Cupcakeinator scene.
All right.
The Cupcakeinator.
We'll be right back after this bucket of shit. Frosty the Clown one.
Josh is kind
Could we maybe get this clip up?
Sweater who asks all the obvious questions. Now, here to tell us about his astounding product for making
This movie's
cupcakes,
such a
all the
meme.
way from Cheshire, England, please welcome me. Now, hello, I'm so excited. Do you love making cupcakes, but hate all the
I don't know why I'm finding this funny.
I watch it as well.
Don't forget everything you know.
See, this was like the one part that I didn't mind.
Hello to the amazing Cupcakeinator. I'm so
Started.
cupcake of what? Cupcakeinator.
It's a parody. It's
It
like
was like the one thing that I didn't absolutely despise.
In the kitchen. Wait a minute, did you say
Anything. Anything. Anything.
Done the
Swift.
fangasm here, Jesus.
where's flex tape when you need it?
Need to fix this lump of shard.
like a bloody accident? Take off the lid. You can put in, I don't know, a carton of eggs. How about a pack of hot dogs? Why not? Some ketchup.
Know what you're thinking? Even a fire extinguisher.
Now, close the lid and Bob's your flippin' uncle. What an astounding product! Oh yeah! Open the drawer. Fill the package of Cupcakeinator treasure.
I hate the goop. Like it's just like
Close the drawer.
in this whole film. There's so much goop.
Place it in a conventional oven. Delicious cupcakes are just minutes away. Did you just say minutes away? That's impossible. You're not just wrong. You're stupid. Now, you're stupid. And you're ugly, just like your mum. Did you just call my mother ugly?
Wow.
I mean it. I will end you.
The kids.
Oh no.
Kids film. Just called his mum ugly and threatened
Shut
with a
up.
knife.
That's interesting because son of a
Just wait.
How is no?
How is
no,
this
sorry.
a kids film?
Kids film.
Look, I'm not saying we're going to sue.
I'm just saying we have a case.
We'll talk later.
Now
I
tell
don't
me,
see your problem with
tell
this.
me
This is fucking
that is
hilarious.
not
Right.
a hilarious movie.
Right, wait, guys. I understand Josh's.
I'm watching that
I-
movie just for you.
I
guys.
understand
That
Josh's
would be
anger at me,
okay,
but yeah, I understand Josh's anger at said film because it's a child's film, and I know before anyone's like, oh, but dude, it's kind of like adult humor. That's very obvious.
Yeah,
for a kid.
yeah.
The thing is,
literally.
though, right? That cat is a paedophile. I swear to God, I remember.
Are we
a
gonna
scene-
bleep that out, Jack?
Sure.
I swear to God, I remember a scene of him looking through a telescope watching a children's birthday party.
No.
Is that not creepy as hell?
Well, that you don't.
Yeah,
understand
but
the
isn't
plot.
Santa
They're trying to get
technically
past.
creepy?
He then becomes the
Goes
pinata
down
at
people's
that birthday party.
chimneys.
But talking about
watches them
kids movies
sleep.
that have like adult features in, have you ever seen Robots? Because that
Yeah,
that
every
had
kid's
so
film-
many adult
Robots,
jokes in, and
yeah,
that was
that did.
I will
amazing.
admit,
Though, you
that
gotta
film
admit.
goes a bit too. There's a song he sings called "Fun," and he
That's
goes like,
already disturbing.
Yeah,
like
they took
just
the
from
cat
the
to
name.
cut off his boys, and then I found a deleted scene. He's talking to the little girl, and she's got something right up her ass.
That
You see,
Action.
that is
this
sort
is
of
this
more
is too far.
obvious than
It's
Robots.
disturbing. It's to a point where it's actually disturbing. Like that's why I get that you're
But-
angry because you're like this should not be a thing, which is
But-
acceptable.
Right,
just
can we
pussies,
not
it's-
talk
it's
about
humour.
this?
Yeah, let's
It's humour.
change for the sake
Hold
of
on.
Josh and
But
maybe the audience.
Do you agree with me? Cat in the Hat. Quite a bad film. But I
It
love
is
it so
a bad
much.
film, but I'm
That
gonna watch
scene-
it.
It
That
has
scene-
it has its charm.
I'll
I'd
give
say.
it
I will
that scene.
never
That bit
not
where
laugh.
it's like, I don't know what you're thinking. A fire extinguisher. That was
That was
funny.
good.
I enjoyed that.
Just like a
but
little
the re-
miniature fire thing.
And then
the
Paul,
rest.
one of the best jokes. He leaves the cupcakes in the oven. The oven explodes all over the wall. And he goes, "It's okay, I'll clean it." And the mum's got like this nice dress she's trying to keep for the party. He grabs it, starts rubbing the wall. They go, "Cat, you've ruined Mum's dress." Honey, it was ruined when she bought it.
Also,
Well, that's
also
such a-
I like that
Think
sass.
he keeps 2 children, thing 1 and 2, locked away.
They're
in a
not
box.
children. They're not children. They're not children.
Fine then, he's still a kidnapper.
Wait, guys, is
Just
Cat in the
looking
Hat?
for the
Wait,
negative.
guys,
Okay,
guys,
if
guys.
they're not
What's
children, then it's
wrong
fine.
with you?
Wait, guys, the kids, right? There's mad fear going on right now. The kids are called Thing 1 and 2. Does that mean that the
No,
Cat in the
no,
Hat
the
is
kids-
actually the Cat in the Hat is actually Bird Box because he was a kid's boy and girl?
The
They're in a
kids.
box.
The kids have actual names. The kids are
Exactly.
played by Dakota Fanning. I did not know Dakota Fanning was in this. She has been in very.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the Denzel Washington film Man on Fire?
No.
This is her
Rings
only.
a bell though.
Yeah, this is like she usually does quite kind of serious. The Man on Fire is about a little girl played by Dakota Fanning who gets kidnapped, and her family's bodyguard played by Denzel Washington
I might have seen that actually.
basically fights for her freedom.
Okay.
So that's very
It's a
different.
very
to-
famous
Yeah.
film, isn't
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Should we
Anyway,
move on?
Let's move on
I'll-
to
I'll
the
start.
other end of the spectrum to good movies that we don't really like.
Right, so I got 3 up for this as well. So my first one, I'll explain my reasonings for all of these afterwards. The Wolf of Wall Street. I know Paul doesn't.
Oh,
like
I
that.
haven't seen that. I really want it.
I like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Titanic. No, don't get me wrong. It wasn't an awful film, but just let me say. And the third one,
I
which
agree
I'm
with
gonna,
Titanic.
the third one that I'm gonna talk about first is Frozen.
Yes.
You were it.
Yes.
You were the one who chose Frozen.
It is.
I have also written down Frozen.
It is such a poor film. The characters are dumb, annoying, and completely unlikable in every way. The story is really
It's written around
stupid.
one song.
The,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
No,
Right. The
no,
only
no,
thing
no.
is, the song has a good message too. Now that I've actually listened to it.
Yeah,
But the film, the reason why it works is because it's so simple.
but the thing is,
that's
though,
the
one
thing.
It was
thing I
like-
don't like about it, it was released in 2013.
Olaf, cute snowman.
That was
hat.
like 6 years ago, right? Obviously
Wow.
now in
Was it actually
2019.
6
Wait,
years ago?
was
Yeah.
it 6
Yeah.
years
Oh, that
ago?
makes
Yeah,
me feel old.
exactly.
That's
Wait,
Mad,
wait,
it's
wait,
mad,
wait.
isn't it?
When
But
did
the thing is,
Frozen
though,
come out then?
2013.
2013. But the thing is,
Wow.
as I
No,
was about
mad,
to say,
innit?
you wouldn't think so because it's so overplayed. And
Yeah,
the song
yeah.
is so overplayed, and there's still so
will
much.
admit-
like,
Yeah, that
stuff
links
in
to
shops
my
and stuff.
I
good
will
film
admit-
that I hate. Well,
I will admit.
It's like they got the song, went, oh,
The
that's a
way
good song, let's make
I
a movie
determine-
for it.
The way I determine if a film is bad is if I fall asleep. I fell asleep during Frozen.
I almost
I fell
did.
asleep, woke up, suddenly there was this little snowman singing about summer.
Josh Cad is an amazing actor. He was in Pixels, which was
Thing
brilliant.
is,
Shut
the
up,
trailer for
Casey.
Frozen looked really
It looked like
good.
it was gonna be
And
about
the
him.
snowman was really funny.
And
in the
Yeah,
trailer.
Frozen-
It
people
was
wanted
just-
it to
yeah.
be about Olaf. There's
Like-
even been like talks about having an Olaf own film.
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
gonna
that
be
would
spin-offs,
that
isn't
would
there?
maybe a short
Yeah,
film,
maybe
but that's
short.
pushing it.
No,
That's pushing
there is
it.
a-
there was a short
There is a
film.
Frozen short film. So Disney could sell more tickets for
Yeah.
live action Cinderella. The only way you could watch Frozen Fever, a 2015 short, was if you went to the cinema to watch
Wasn't even
Cinderella.
Good. I went. No, it
But,
wasn't Cinderella, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Are you sure it
Yeah.
wasn't like Beauty and the Beast or something?
No, it was Cinderella. Beauty and the Beast was 2017. Frozen Fever
Frozen
came out
Hearts.
2015.
As long
It
as the
hurts
reactions
physically.
didn't
Like-
watch it.
Right. Okay.
The thing is as well,
Next-
I will admit the music in that is pretty good because I can't remember her name, but
Yeah.
the person who
Anna?
sings for Elsa, the person who sings for Elsa,
That's what it was.
Yeah,
she's
they're,
this
they're, like,
big-
talented and
she's this
stuff,
big
but-
musical theatre actress. She did have you ever heard of the Broadway show Wicked?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
sings that song,
She
Defying Gravity,
Oh, wow.
and that's like that song. I've heard it. I don't like musical theatre, but that song, that is a
See, yeah,
beautiful song.
You can't take away.
And she did the
talent of
music-
the
I love
She
how
did-
you go out with a girl who does musical theatre.
Yeah.
She does the movie
Oh.
version for Rent, which is a Broadway show, which I will admit, I got played the opening song for Rent 2 weeks
Just-
ago.
Just
Still
I got
stuck in my head.
played And,
Still
Alright.
stuck in my head because I couldn't remember the
Right,
lyrics.
let's
Right,
move
let's-
away
anyway,
from this.
get back
right,
onto
so
the point.
Let's
hang on,
move
the
away
o-
from
the other
Frozen.
two that I sort of explained.
oh yeah,
together.
Titanic. You
The
said.
Wolf of Wall Street and the Titanic. Don't get me wrong, they're iconic classic
They are
films,
classic.
but they're way too long. The Wolf of Wall
Hmm.
Street is going to be 3 hours long, and sort of, I would sort of say as a standard, the longest a film should be is 2 hours and like 20
I think
minutes.
the problem is with
Charles
them,
Fatty maybe.
you go into them expecting them to be so good that
Yeah.
that's the beauty with an Adam Sandler film. You expect nothing, you get
So you get
something at
everything.
least. You
The
know?
thing is, though,
Yeah,
I
true.
was-
It's all built on
I
audience
watched-
expectations.
I
Yeah.
watched The Wolf
Well
of
done,
Wall
Jack.
Street,
Yeah,
and,
there you go.
I was like an hour and a half in. I was like, surely this is ending soon. Then it got to like there was about 5 times where I thought to myself, oh okay, it's about to end now, and it went on for another hour.
I think
I will admit,
A movie
when
think
I
there's
watched
one-
it,
big.
I thought the same, but I love The Wolf of Wall Street. Leonardo
I like-
DiCaprio, Margot Robbie,
the
everyone
cast.
gives
as
a phenomenal performance.
I think I wrote
I
down.
think
the
there's like
cast is
2 or 3
phenomenal,
scenes
but-
that we all know from it that are really good, but
Yeah, I put actors.
Oh,
were
the
good.
of course the boat scene where they nearly die.
Yeah.
Of course there's the drug scene where they're on drugs.
What, every
We're good
scene,
Christian children. We're not on about the Margot Robbie scenes.
English was the best part about the film.
And I do like.
Saying.
I just love how he completely missed my point. the
No,
first
no, no,
time.
no. I got it. But this is a
Oh,
Chris-
okay.
This is a
This is
Christian,
Christian.
podcast.
It is
So the
Christian.
notes that I wrote down were literally way too long and drawn out. Actors were good, but never seemed to end. And the Titanic, again, it's an absolute classic.
Classic.
And it was amazing when I first watched it, but you can't. It's not a film that I would
Yeah.
go.
Why?
What I
Why am
appreciate
I going to
about-
sit through a 3-hour film when I know the ending?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Before I've even watched it, I know how it's going to end.
By the way, what I really appreciate about
Titanic
like Wolf
too.
of Wall Street or Titanic is that they're in an era of films where people genuinely put heart into their films. Like MCU still does that.
And The Wolf of Wall Street was 2013.
Yeah,
and I thought
and
that was like crazy. I thought that it was like 2005.
yeah, I thought it came out
before
sooner.
I watched that.
But yeah, like it's when because Titanic obviously like it's very
was that? That
heartfelt.
was, like-
Oh, actually speaking
Titanic was 90s.
speaking of disasters,
It was
yeah,
late
90s,
90s, yeah.
right. Speaking of bloody
I wanna
disasters,
say
98. I think it was 98.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course, it's a year off.
guys, speaking of disasters, there's actually a film that recently was like nominated for the Oscars, and it's about the story of a boy who like died. I think he was murdered or something. And anyway, I've just seen it vaguely,
Jamie
and
Bolger?
I'm not sure. But basically, what happened was they made this movie about this kid's death without even getting consent from the mother of said kid. That's what I mean.
That's messed
That's
up.
what I mean. Titanic, heartfelt. Like that was like
Yeah.
almost like a sending off message to all of those like who
Yeah.
passed.
Yeah,
But
that
this
is-
new movie,
new is
they're
taking
reaping in
pictures.
the money from
yeah.
people's vulnerabilities.
That-
I hate that.
That's my
I
problem.
hate that.
Like, long films, they need to be packed full of interesting stuff. That's why I like
Yeah.
Forrest Gump. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it. too
Forrest
much.
Gump was such an adventure. I
know
love
he's
that
gonna
film.
Talk about it later, but I like Forrest Gump is a long film. It's like 2 hours and 25 minutes. But the thing is, it just remains so interesting the entire
Yeah.
time.
Like, I know
I
I
agree
haven't
with
seen
that.
Forrest Gump, but
Jenny.
I know of enough
Bubble Gummy
scenes
shrimps.
where, of course, there's all the Vietnam War
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah.
There's the Vietnam War stuff. There's his childhood.
and it
There's,
covers
there's the stuff with what's the general's name? The one who loses his legs.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. There's
Oh,
all
yeah.
that stuff with him.
Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, you know, there's a good film I want to talk about
But
just
it-
in general.
it just
like, but I'll
covers,
leave
it
it.
covers
Do that.
so
Yeah.
much.
You know,
It-
Yeah,
it
after this.
covers
Yeah.
so much history. I actually watched it before my history exam. I swear to God, I watched it before my history exam.
Nice.
Really?
Yep, I
I
genuinely
just,
did.
I just
Did it-
sat
did it
there
actually
with a
help you?
textbook
Because,
going.
like, they
Wait,
talk-
wait,
Sat there with a
Josh.
textbook going medicine, medicine, medicine.
They talk about the cave KKK and how he's literally related to one of the members.
Josh,
They
did
talk
it
about-
help you though in the test?
No, not.
Okay, guys, don't watch Forrest Gump. Debunked.
No, literally, we
They
didn't
talk
really
about-
touch the 90s.
Yeah.
They talk about, and it's not set in the 90s.
I mean,
in
19th
the
century.
slightest.
Yeah, 19th
And
century.
it talks about like black people going to school and stuff. It talks about the Vietnam War.
Mm.
It talks about like the deaths of like presidents and like Nixon and JFK meeting like the presidents. It's just such an amazing film. And you know, it's a perfect segue into Paul. Let me hear why.
Oh,
you think it's
no, I've
bad.
got the perfect segue.
Oh.
Speaking of stuff that's too long, why don't we move on from Josh?
Right, I want to stress.
Hey, ladies, right?
I want to
No,
stress
Josh,
it's a
yeah.
very good movie, and I don't hate it. I slightly dislike it only because it's a very depressing film.
I
No, I get
that.
that.
I can 100% understand. It is
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
depressing
The
at the
thing
end
is,
where
When
everybody
you've got
dies.
depression in
Spoilers.
sci-fi, it works.
Spoilers.
Because it's
This
not
whole
real, but
podcast is
realistic
spoilers, guys, come on.
films, when it's you've got bad endings to like realistic films. That,
By the way,
that
guys,
just hits here.
that's a topic we can vaguely talk about. Is that why would I watch a film just to know I'm gonna be depressed by it? Like
people
Lou,
like to, though.
Lou wants me to watch
It's
A Star Is Born, and I do want to watch that because it seems like it has a lot of power
Have you
to
seen
it.
it?
I haven't
Forrest
yet.
Gump.
I've seen Forrest Gump.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I
It's
mean,
an
I mean,
amazing
just
film.
films that
Yeah.
literally are just a depressed fest.
Yeah, but
it's like, oh,
I still think that it's like a drama and it's amazing.
no,
The-
it's
the
it's an
scenes at-
adventure.
The
It's a
scenes
journey
at the
through his
bus
life.
stop are literally some of the best scenes in history.
Mm.
I don't even
It's
care.
an amazing
They're
film. I
pretty
want to put that out
good.
there. I just dislike
I'm
it.
Yeah.
No.
I
in
just
other
dislike that
ways.
aspect of it, and I
Yeah.
can understand.
Yeah, you can appreciate the actual work
Yeah,
itself,
yeah.
but just you can't watch it because emotional value.
Alright,
Yeah.
go on and speak about another film.
Dan, would you like to go on?
Oh
Technically,
yeah,
do you
just
have any more you'd like to talk
I
about real quick?
do actually, and
Do-
you're
let-
gonna hate.
Let's
this.
keep on with Paul. Oh, I know which one you're about to talk about.
way.
Wait,
Thor
what?
Ragnarok.
No, Korg is one of the greatest
No,
characters
I
Yes.
love
in
Korg. I
cinematic
love
history.
My
Korg.
people.
Well, we love Korg. I want to put that out there.
Don't be afraid.
The thing is-
I
unless you
wanted to
made a
start a
scissors.
revolution.
That's this little rock paper scissors joke for you.
I wanted to start a revolution, but I didn't print enough pamphlets.
The only people who turned up was my mum and her boyfriend, who I hate.
Oh no, mate, we're about to get on that rocket ship and escape. When I
Do you
come.
wanna ride my spaceship?
Oh, Meek's dead. Yeah,
So-
I stepped on him during the battle. I've just felt
Oh,
so
Meek,
bad.
you're
I've carried
alive.
him. We
Actually-
can rebuild. The
So the
foundation
hammer
is
Can
comes
I
back
back
to
say,
you.
where the fuck was Korg in Infinity War? Where was he?
They say
No,
he's
no.
still alive.
Yeah, in an article, it was revealed that Valkyrie, Korg, and Meek led the escape of half the Asgardians,
Oh wow, really?
while Thor and Loki
Lads,
stood
Korg's
back.
still
Oh, I
in
love
it.
that man.
Korg's still in it.
While Thor, Loki, and Heimdall
Because
all
you
fought
don't,
for
see,
Asgard.
you don't see any effort in the death scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
of
Also,
Infinity
figures got leaked for Endgame.
War.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, some figures got leaked for Endgame, and Valkyrie is one of the figures.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Alright, go.
Right, moving-
okay.
move- so moving
Explain
back.
why you
Wait,
didn't
I
like it.
swear I might have saw it in a trailer.
No.
No,
No,
okay,
right.
it's in my head
Right,
somewhere.
let's
for
move
some
back.
reason.
So,
Go on.
I guess you're wondering why I don't.
Why
like
don't
it.
you
Now,
like
it was
it?
like
Yes,
he
it
said,
is-
when you
it
go
is
into a
known as
film
one of the best
expecting
ones.
it to be good, I thought it was going to be
I
amazing.
did not think Thor Ragnarok
because we
was going to be
spent
good.
the
I
other
did.
two films like on Earth and on other places. I thought we'd get.
I just
one
knew
on
it was
Asgard,
fun,
but
so I watched
wasn't.
it for the
Yeah,
sake
It
of
was
fun.
in like
there.
where even was it? It was like a dump yard.
Yeah.
Where even was it?
Oh, yeah.
Sakar.
Just-
Sakar,
it was
yeah.
like- and I just found it a
Yes,
bit boring at
my
times.
boy. I forgot his name. What? Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yes.
He's great in that. I
Oh,
did
that
not watch
man.
Thor Ragnarok till about several months after its release.
I watched it in cinema.
Luckily,
was a year
I
old.
avoided
Really good idea.
all. So we had another technical difficulty,
We just
but
took a break.
we just took a break.
Food.
Yep. But
We're good.
but where we left off, we were talking about
Yeah.
the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Goldblum.
Chris Hemsworth. Oh.
Josh, Dan, would you like to carry on talking about Jeff Goldblum?
I was just saying his role in this. He
is
was funny.
He's
Jeff Goldblum
the
he's
Grandmaster
very
kind.
self-aware about his roles. Like he knows that there's fandoms almost about
that-
him,
and that-
like in his like humor and everything.
That post-credit scene
That's
as
great.
well. It's
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, congratulations guys. Just remember, you can't overthrow anyone if you don't have anyone to overthrow. This is all of us.
But yeah, just like
Dry humor. You know?
and you know, with the character he's playing, of course, in the comics, much bigger
Mm.
role. Brothers or related to
Oh,
the
yeah,
Collector.
Collector, yeah.
They're all like eternal
can see
beings.
that.
So the Collector's now officially clapped because Thanos visited him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what
Yeah.
happened to the Collector?
He's probably dead.
No, yeah, he gets shown in the bit. Then he like. Not
Yeah,
snaps,
in
but
a
then he has-
vision,
then he's
yeah.
like snapped back to reality.
Oh, there
No,
goes
no, no, no.
Thanos.
No, because he's part of the Reality Stone, isn't he?
Yeah.
Would the
yeah,
real
so
Thanos
he's
please
just
stand
not
up?
there.
Yeah, he's I doubt he's dead.
How do you think it's all destroyed and he managed to get?
Well, the
sewn
thing
off
is, guys, let's think about the actual future of the MCU, which is basically
That's not what we're here to
dead.
talk about, Dan.
No. I'm just saying, like, in terms of the understanding of it, like, it's probably gonna end, so he's dead. That's what I'm
Maybe.
saying.
Anyway,
Fair.
Paul, anything else
Marvel's
to
so
justify your bizarre reason for hating Thor Ragnarok?
Jojo's Bizarre Adventure.
It's just, I mean, they set things up like they set Loki and Thor finally being on terms with each other. They set like a whole kind of, they've got their own group, and then that just all kind of goes
the
after Thor. It is pretty much, it kind of
Yeah,
all just
I
disappears.
didn't
off
love
Thor.
that idea,
And
but I
also-
thought it was
What's her name? The woman.
Valkyrie.
No, the enemy. Well, I can't even remember.
Hela.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hela.
Hela. She's too powerful. She's too overpowered.
Yes.
She's a god. What do you expect?
Yeah, but so is
So
Thor.
is Thor.
So
You
is
know,
Loki.
And so
you know
is
what, guys?
Odin
You know
and
what
so
I
is
find
Loki.
really refreshing about that?
What?
MCU guys always win. I feel like this was so impactful at the end, and it was like
Yeah.
it was satisfying in a way.
I'm just saying.
Like, and it was
Odin-
amazing to
Odin
witness
was
Hela.
rushed.
Odin,
Odin
So was
was a bit
Doctor
rushed.
Strange.
Doctor
Everything
Strange
was
Yeah.
was
really
amazing.
rushed.
I loved that scene with
It
like
was-
the beer and
it was
stuff.
really
But
rushed.
Odin-
Strange fanboy.
Yeah, I did.
I love Doctor Strange.
Odin-
That film
the
was
thing is,
amazing.
Odin literally says to Thor and Loki,
Special effects.
"When I die, she is gonna come back." It's like, well, why don't you explain how you got rid of her in the first place and how to keep her
Yeah.
away, rather than just having to destroy?
It was
our
obviously
entire
his
planet?
godly beard.
But,
like,
But
it's trap.
honestly, Thor Ragnarok, beautifully directed by Waika Tatiti, one of the greatest
Didn't
directors.
he also do Korg?
Yeah,
The
he voiced
director did
Korg.
Korg.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
One
I
of the
love that.
greatest comedic directors ever.
That's
The
like getting a Korg
soundtrack
voice.
to Thor Ragnarok
Yeah,
is
Yes.
Ace of
beautiful.
Spades.
Yeah.
That moment where he comes up and it's just like
The immigrant
Yeah.
song from Led
Beautiful.
Zeppelin. Yeah,
That
Led
is-
Zeppelin immigrant song. Listen
that is
to
a
that.
beautiful moment. Everything about that film I love. I just don't
I love
understand how
Casey's impression.
how you can
It was
dislike
messy.
it.
A lot of it is rushed.
Mm.
See, I can understand why you don't like the Doctor Strange
tick
bit.
my
I feel
boxes.
like there was a
Yeah.
lot more they could have done.
Not-
with
not
Strange.
gonna
It was
lie,
too rushed. It
not
was
gonna
like
lie,
10 seconds.
I just
It was-
watched that movie for fun, like devoid of all meaning. I
But
just watched it and
Have
enjoyed
you,
it.
have
It
you
was
seen
so
the
good.
How It Should Have Ended video on?
No, I don't
That
think so.
is really good in the way that it sort of says that Doctor Strange could have played such a big
True, he
part.
could have totally helped defeat Hela.
Doctor Strange, like, I know I'm being a fanboy, but there are so many endings that could have been retconned
Yeah.
because of the abilities.
We're in the
that he
end game now.
possesses. We're in the end game now. Oh, not anymore.
Wait.
Anyway,
You know the wait. Well, you know the theory on how Doctor Strange didn't stop Star Lord.
because
Do you
it's the way
reckon
he's-
he didn't do anything in Thor Ragnarok because he'd already seen the future, and if he did anything else,
if
Because
he had
yeah,
already
the
seen the
i-
future, I think he would have prepared a bit
because the
Yeah.
the
nah,
idea
but he
that,
knows the exact paths to victory.
just saying
let's
the,
not talk
the
about that.
idea of the how it should have
Oh.
ended short was Jack. Stop it. The idea of the how it should have ended short was that in Infinity War that he literally just does exactly what Wong did at the beginning of the film, and I feel like that is like way too obvious. Sort of the way that he like punches through the portal and he just
Yeah.
cuts his arm off.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's so like that was meant to be there, so that later on people would be like, well, why don't you just do it again?
But what about the theory on Doctor Strange, knowing that?
Okay,
Uh,
moving away from
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Dan, what is your good
Marvel
movie
in
that
general,
you
but-
don't like very much?
well, whoop-de-doo, back to Marvel.
Uh,
Oh, it's Black Panther.
Yeah.
Panther.
I
don't
Right,
understand
right.
why
Let
you
me
don't
let me
like
say
Black
it. Let me say it.
Yeah.
So I haven't personally seen the movie, so this is one of those things. Pacey, don't get mad at me because you haven't seen Pixels. And
I'm not gonna get mad at you.
anyway,
You're just
And
wrong.
Boris
Very
Johnson.
oh,
wrong.
okay,
to
okay.
mention
So
Black
I'm
Panther.
wrong. Okay, I'm wrong, and I dislike Black Panther. The reason why I particularly dislike it is
Pacey's
because
just silently judging you right now.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Yeah.
He's
Nah.
very audibly, he whispered in my ear, he just hates black people.
Cut
Which-
that part out.
which I do not. They are they're just humans. Anyway, so because if I
They're
say they're
just
great, then it's like what? Anyway, but yeah, the reason why I don't like it is the stigma based around it. Also, that end scene was terrible.
Yeah,
CGI.
I can't even
I didn't
remember
like that.
actually.
Looking like a PS2 game. Anyway,
No,
so
I disagree with that, but like the idea
nah, it
of
just
the
look-
ending.
It
What
did
is-
look
and-
horrible, to
and
be
my
honest. Though.
Right, I'll
Good.
sort of.
Dude, this was meant to be my talk.
Yeah, I know, but I
Yeah,
just want to
go on.
mention
I can't even remember the end of Black Panther.
Um,
Killmonger dies. But
He,
that's
he
the
says,
thing.
he says,
Yeah,
I would
know.
rather be like my ancestor brothers and
Who
jump
jumped
off the
the
ship.
boat.
Oh,
Then,
shit, yeah.
and he pulls the blade out. He doesn't want to be a prisoner.
He just kills
Killmonger.
himself.
Yeah,
He's
Killmonger
not-
is one of the
He's
greatest.
not a villain.
Yeah, he is as a staple, as in like
He's like an anti-hero.
he is
No, he's a villain.
considered to be the villain of the film, but I wouldn't consider him to be a villain because
He's a
his
really big
ideal-
boy.
The thing is though, people are like, yeah, he's a villain. He overthrew the king because he had an actual claim to the throne.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Josh, really, I'm not.
Casey, tell me how I'm wrong.
No, I'm not comparing the
Mansplain.
two exactly.
Mansplain, yeah.
Mansplaining.
I'm not
We're
comparing the two
literally
exactly.
talking about equality
Killmonger.
about this film.
He had a dream
I had a
to
tr-
make his
I
race
had a dream.
to make
Had
his
to, had
people
to.
better by killing the rest. Someone else who had a very similar claim, who we consider a big villain, Hitler.
Thanos.
No,
Don't say
you can't.
Thanos, I
You
said.
cannot.
Let's-
Okay,
let's
guys.
say-
Jack,
Oh.
just cut
Cut.
that bit out.
I wondered how long
Okay,
it would take for you
Pacey's
to
point
mention
is
Hitler.
useless. Anyway, back to my point. Back to
what?
my point.
I don't know.
Just let down
What?
that
Came
you
out of
just
nowhere.
had.
Okay,
Just cut
okay.
that part out. Cut that part out.
Okay,
I
as
regret
soon as
saying it.
Pacey starts speaking, we're gonna bleep it. Okay. Anyway,
Bleep every
Um,
word.
Meme.
Yeah.
so Pacey said something very sketchy, and we may or may not have had to edit that bit out.
No, I
But so the reason why.
We need a camera on you.
Okay,
next
let's
time.
start again.
Cut out.
So, Pacey.
Don't
discarded
even
my
mention
point.
it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Just get on with it.
So, one of the reasons why, it's the main reason why I don't like Black Panther, is just the annoyance at the fact that people hype it up. They're like, it's an amazing movie. Oh my god.
I mean,
And to
But
be fair,
I will admit, some people do have a best
Yeah.
picture for the Oscars,
yeah.
best costume design.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
yes.
I don't like that
Umbaku
Killmonger's
has an
is just.
amazing costume.
And to be
Umbaku.
fair, it deserves the praise that it got. It's like
Yeah.
the third most. It's like the third best doing. I don't know what it's like called, but it made like the third most amount of money at the box.
Oh,
office.
But
domestic
that's
box
all
office.
because of the
I think it
one
is
sole fact that
because-
I still haven't been able to say. It's just that it's been overhyped because it's an all-black cast.
Yeah, I think
Imagine
that
a
is it.
movie
It's
proudly
not, though.
proclaiming
It's
it.
not
No,
all
but it
black
is though,
cast.
Pacey, because
No,
It's
it
like-
was
to
it was
be fair,
advertised
there's, like,
as like
two
Marvel.
white characters
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, it was advertised as like an all-black cast. That's the point. I'm talking about the advertisation. Because imagine if it was advertised as an all-white cast. Could you imagine the backlash? Like, what, dude? That's
They're
bad.
African. Why are they
Oh.
walking around with Brummy accents?
Actually,
You
I
know,
prefer
like,
canine American.
That's why I dislike.
Look, this guy's
It's
like,
not. Yeah.
Fucking hell, mate! Like my Black Panther costume.
That's a meme they should make.
Fucking Black Panther.
So the reason
my
I don't
God.
hate the film, I just hate the stigma
We won't bleep
and
that part.
people
Good.
and people around it about the hype of that film. That's what I hate about it.
Okay.
Go on, Pacey.
I will
Let's
talk
all
about-
get pissed off at beep at Pacey. At Pacey's ideas,
No.
okay?
I agree with Josh. Frozen.
Family friendly
Hate
content,
that.
right?
90%.
Family friendly.
90% on Rotten Tomato for Frozen.
Yeah.
But
Is it actually?
Yep.
Genuinely.
genuinely,
He's
wrote it
just
down.
like, yeah.
Anyway.
wait.
I wonder how much they had to pay them to get that rating.
the good movie that I don't like, that for some reason is getting 4 more sequels. Avatar.
They're making sequels to that. I swear they've been advertised.
Avatar
Wait,
2.
Blue Boys,
Yeah, there's
the Blue
been
Boys.
loads of
I
Avatars,
loved
haven't they?
Avatar.
Or is
No.
that just me?
No,
Just the James Cameron version.
It was a whole world developed in the
82%.
film.
82%. 82%.
See, I had to look at Avatar as well for like the.
You
I
look
love
at the
that.
cast.
for the
You look
bad
at the cast. This is easily most of the cast's worst film.
Oh, so is Saldana. She's what's it called?
Have you seen
Gamora.
Avatar?
Gamora. The only one.
Wait,
Sam
she was in that?
Worthington hasn't done much. Let's be honest. He's the voice of Mason in Black Ops.
Wait, is he the guy with white hair?
No,
Oh, okay,
that's
no, yeah.
Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
Amazing in Don't
Dude,
Breathe.
that's built more than
Wait,
a
is James
great
Cameron
oak
not in
tree.
it?
James Cameron's the director.
Wait, I thought
He
you were about
also
to say
did
James
Titanic, by the
Corden
way.
then.
Josh is like, I take
And
media.
Sigourney Weaver, Ripley herself, the killer of xenomorphs. Avatar. It's just.
Just quick line.
I've got sniffles.
Avatar. It's a bad film.
I don't enjoy it. It's
Drugs.
boring.
Okay.
It focuses too much
it's
on
a-
special
It's
effects.
another one of
It's
those
well,
films like
boring.
Titanic.
I've never watched Avatar because I never
Really?
I've
seen
never liked the
it.
idea of it.
Wait,
It
I've
just
seen
looks-
it about
long.
5
I
times,
watched it at
and
cinema.
each time it gets worse.
It just there's
Wait,
never looked
let me
like something I'd
describe
wanna watch.
how I
think I've
feel
watched it
about that
twice.
film. Okay, so
I watched. Hold on one sec. I have watched the Avatar film about 5 times. Each time hated it. The video game though, miles better than the movie, and the video game sucks.
okay,
First
that's a
time
bit
the
harsh.
video
right?
game
The
has
video
ever
game-
been better than the movie.
I
Yeah.
enjoy playing the video game
Yeah.
much more than I like watching the movie.
I enjoy annoying pacing. Anyway, so the reason why I enjoy that film so much is because if you focus
What?
on a pure development perspective, it's like is so like grand and amazing because like
We might
just
have to, like, stop.
yeah
Give it
the
a
general
pause.
idea
going on?
of it.
Give it a pause. What's going on?
I don't know.
People outside. I don't know. I
Go
think
on,
they
go
want to
on.
get in, but we're using it. Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'll grab it.
no, it's
Nice,
fine.
Cool.
Have we paused the?
Yeah, we paused the
Yeah,
we
it's
paused the
fine.
podcast. Okay then. I thought they wanted the
Yeah,
room.
same.
Yeah,
I thought
was
they were
like,
just trying to
Oh,
pass
we
us
got to
up.
fight to the
Alright,
death.
guys, wait a sec.
Hold on. Cut back.
Yeah,
to-
'cause
oh,
it'll go
Beam
back to me.
review.
yeah, yeah.
Alright.
Start from the
Can we
beginning
start
because I
again?
started sort of like looking around to see like.
Yeah.
what the fuck's going
Oh,
So
go.
me talking about how I like the film. So okay, so I enjoyed the film mostly from a perspective that it's its own world, and I guess it's tried to fit something like let's say the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It made this
Like-
whole universe, and
You
it
see, I've
made it
never
in
watched
one
them
movie.
either.
Yeah,
Is there
same.
just something wrong with me?
Never
Harry,
watched Lord of the
no, Harry
Rings.
Potter is the only thing that's ever really appealed
I'm
to me.
telling you,
like
Jack.
that.
If you've ever got about 9 spare hours,
Yeah,
in a
that's
day,
the thing.
just watch
I'd
Lord of the
I'd
Rings.
rather just watch
So,
Harry Potter
aesthetically,
9 times over
Yeah,
again, to be
Avatar.
honest.
It is.
The
I
world,
reckon
the
it's
world.
masterpiece.
Yeah, the reason why I get distracted from, let's say, the
Poor acting.
is it does it have poor acting?
I don't know.
It's
I
Oh,
not the
okay, you
best,
just-
it's not
okay.
the best, is it?
Nah, okay, no, because of it being see, thing is, I have a very good attention span, so I can watch films like
I
that
have
easily.
an unpopular opinion. I think the world of Avatar is also very boring and bland.
Really?
Wow.
Dude,
Wow.
they have hair sex.
No, to be fair, the hair stuff is dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
The way that they just plug it in like
No,
a
like,
USB
I
to the
think-
Dude,
animals.
it works like a
Weird
girlfriend.
I think
as hell.
It works like a
They
girlfriend.
could have been much more creative with the
Jack,
wildlife
edit
stuff
that out.
and the animals, but it's
Lou will
goddamn.
hate me.
It's goddamn. Oh, it's a horse with 8
I might
legs.
just leave that in.
Oh, instead of birds, they have dragons. No.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it looks
It's a very
good.
spiritual. It's a very.
It
It's
looks
like
okay.
The color scheme and
Pacey, do you
the
like? Wait,
cinematics,
Pacey, do you like Star Wars?
establishing
I love
shots
Star
are
Wars.
brilliant.
Okay,
Everyone
that's
loves Star Wars.
interesting because
Star
like
Wars.
thing is with Avatar, it's more the themes that go into it. Like there's very spiritual sort of stuff with it, like the connection between the owner and everything. It's quite
But-
interesting.
Plot-wise, can you tell me any of the characters'
Plot-
names
plot
from
is
Avatar?
crap. Plot
I don't
is
care about
crap.
character names. I just cared about the
The
world being
directing's
cool.
brilliant. The effects
Wait, no,
are brilliant.
swear to
but-
God, one of the characters' name
Plot.
is James.
I have no clue. I can't
It's
remember.
Creative.
So we have crippled guy who gets a new life as a big blue
yeah,
guy.
literally.
We have lady who is strong independent as now blue lady who is strong independent.
Well, no,
and
she
then-
was always a Navi. That's the only
Oh
thing I
yeah,
remember.
she was.
The
wasn't
Avatar
she?
species are called the Navi.
That's because they
They're
can
blue,
navigate
right?
real good.
They're blue.
Yeah,
I'm
blue.
blue,
Well done, Jack.
bad
Wait,
boy.
That's
what?
my
I thought
knowledge
they
of
were
the movie.
Smurfs.
That was the best part about Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the Smurf movies yet. Now that is something I can talk
Neil
about.
Patrick Harris is a national treasure. Anything he's in is gold.
Right, okay, Pacey.
Next
you gotta talk about
segue.
anything.
I would also like to give an honourable mention
you did
for
that as
a good film that I didn't like, Suicide Squad. Some people would argue it is a rubbish film. Like
No,
me.
that's a case of Titanic and everything again. It was built up to be good and was. I mean,
yeah.
you went into it thinking
It's
it was going
so
to be good, so
messy.
it was
It's
bad.
Say,
Half
Deadpool's
of
like
it's-
that for me.
I haven't
Half
seen
of-
it, yeah, same.
Half of it's dark.
The
half of
choice
it's
of villain
bright
was
and co-
stupid.
I know.
Right,
Or how
okay.
they handled it.
All right.
It's bad. Let's move this along. Right, I'm gonna talk about the
Oh.
3 films. Well, actually, there's a couple
Now we are moving on to our favourite films of recent memory. So films that
Okay.
rather
Oh,
came
yeah.
out recently, or to be honest, we don't really
See,
care. Any films we've watched
See,
I'm an
recently.
old
mine-
film.
See, mine were like the last 10 years, so I just want to give like a quick mention to the Kingsman films and
Yeah.
the 21 and
Yeah.
22 Jump Street films.
Yeah,
They're both
yeah.
really good comedies.
I haven't
They're
seen
hilarious.
Kingsman 2.
Kingsman 1, Kingsman 2, crap.
Hey, no.
Really?
Anything with Elton
I
John
thought
in.
Kingsman 1.
It's Elton John's in the second one.
Elton-
The death
That's not
of-
funny at all.
The
The
death
Elton
of
John stuff.
Merlin is my
Yeah,
one
that's
of,
a-
if
that
not
is
my
amazing.
favourite
What, in Kingsman
films.
1?
In
Two.
Kingsman
Oh, two.
But
Well,
the-
spoiler.
Okay, so it's just another difficulties, technical difficulties. 21 and 22 Jump Street, again, both, they were brilliant, funny films. And they should just be left like that. There's no more sequels, no more nothing.
In about
It's
50
perfect.
years,
I
they're going to be
will
on like
admit-
45
I
Jump
will
Street or
admit,
something.
22 Jump Street, not as good as 21.
No, I would
But-
agree with that.
The end credit scene for 22 Jump Street
That was
is
funny.
is quite funny.
Okay, and then the main films I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna start off. Me and Jack, back me up. Baby
Yep.
Driver.
I
Yes.
will back you up on that. Baby
Yes.
Driver is cinematic gold.
Although-
Oh,
It
the
is,
songs
to
in
me-
it too.
To me, the most close to perfect film that you.
I'm going to say something you're not going to like.
Everything, the costume design representing their emotion, the art design. You know that scene
It
where
had the best hit, like good guy turned villain.
Yeah.
Bud was in the name, wasn't it?
like
Buddy.
the goddamn
He was
scene
amazing.
where the wall graffiti, and then as soon as the
Yep.
woman walks past it, I love how it appears. Baby wearing a white shirt at the beginning,
Turning
showing
grey.
his purity,
Yep.
to it slowly turning grey as he becomes
Yeah.
more involved in
Although-
this world of crime. Goddamn John Bernthald's character, even though he appears in the first 10 minutes,
Film that I said.
even though he appears in the first 10 minutes, his character is great.
You're not going to like
Carry on
this.
about your
I think I've watched it too many times because now I wouldn't want to watch it again for a
I've only
long
ever watched
time.
it once.
I've watched it just enough. I watched
Yeah.
it.
I've watched it
I,
once.
I think the story isn't as good as like Harry Potter stories and things, but the way it's done with all the little things in the background.
That's the funniest.
Way better.
No.
That's the funniest face I've
No.
ever seen Pacey pull. His,
was your
his,
name. That
your
was your
chin,
name.
your chin went behind your neck. It was like,
It's
oh,
like the way Edgar Wright does all the things with the t-shirt colours and the set designs and everything.
Edgar Wright as
That's
well,
impressive.
amazing
But
director.
Yeah.
the story, like if they
Yeah.
applied that sort of thing to, I mean, imagine Harry Potter. You know, his robes changing colour and things every time Voldemort's near. Can you just imagine that?
That would make no sense.
No,
Harry
some
Potter, man.
magic,
He is
because
in a black
magic.
and gold robe. Voldemort is now pink and yellow.
Yeah, but it's this thing though. That makes sense.
Wait,
Anything
guys.
can happen in Harry Potter because magic.
guys, do we know about do we know if any more like movies are upcoming from Edgar Wright?
Yeah,
No, I feel he's working on one. He's
I
getting
hope
plans
he
for
is.
something.
I love his
20,
movies.
21 or
His
something.
movies are
It's
as
not got a title
addictive
or
as like
anything,
drug.
though. Well,
like,
it's
just
not been
straight
released
up.
for a title.
Love it.
Can I talk about my film?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go on, Josh.
The whole point of this podcast is for us to join
Yeah,
in.
no, but I didn't even get to make my thing.
Hug him, Pacey. He's a child.
The
Yeah.
best part about the film, I think you cannot disagree with it in the slightest, is the soundtrack. The long take scene when he's sort of walking to the beat, and the thing is, when
Actually, no, I
you,
can't
when
give
you sort of
music
think
'cause
about
copyright.
he walks to the beat and they do stuff to the beat. You see it so
Mm.
much more often.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
done in the shootout scene in the underground car park. It does it in the shootout scene when Darling dies. It does it in the walking
Spoilers.
scene right at the beginning. It is just
Like,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
Edgar Wright. He's got such a talent when it comes to editing to the
Yeah.
beat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
To be fair, no,
Like, in The
one
World's End-
project I did, I edited, and
Yeah.
it went with the tune, and it's one of the most powerful effects you can have really in editing.
Like, also the World's End. That scene where they're all drinking and then they
Oh,
all
yeah.
chug it.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay.
No, the impressive thing he did in Baby Driver was, in that slow-mo scene, he's still walking to the beat, but obviously in real life he's not walking. Yeah, so that must have been incredibly hard to get
he's
right. Yeah.
actually walking to the beat, and like when he's walking past
Yeah.
all of the things, he jumps up, and the thing that would have taken the longest was when he jumps up and
Yeah.
he starts going with the trumpet that's in the window. Must be so hard to
Get
sort
that
of
out.
get
Oh,
it
yeah.
perfect. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And the
That
song
movie
That
is
movie's got the
Any-
only soundtrack
any
that I
others?
would listen
Yes,
to.
I have two others. One, this is the one that Paul, you may have even written it down. Whiplash.
Whiplash is good. I
Wait,
love Whiplash.
The acting
The jazz
in it,
drummer.
The acting is
Yes,
J.K.
is
Simmons.
amazing. J.K. Simmons is amazing.
J.K.
I've only seen
He
clips from that.
deserves that Oscar that I think he won it.
Did he actually
I
drum?
think he
Did
won
he learn to drum
Best
that
supporting
good?
actor. Oh no, J.K. Simmons was the instructor.
Oh no, yeah,
the
sorry,
abusive
sorry. Well,
instructor.
you know the actor though who did the drums?
Yeah.
Did he learn to drum that good?
Most likely, yes.
Wow.
I mean, the
So
guy in
there's some
Bohemian
pretty
Rhapsody who
intense
played the drums,
Yeah.
he did not know how to play the drums before. He lied to the director
Paul, you
saying,
need
I
to
can play
step up
drums,
your
and the
game.
director went, sure, send me a video. So he ran out, said, got a cheap drum set, went to an instructor, said, I need to learn a song in about 2 hours. Can you teach me?
Oh my god.
That's
But yeah,
amazing.
To be
That's
fair, I learned
amazing.
drums really quick with Paul, so
But
it's
yeah,
possible.
but,
Whiplash is a brilliant film.
Yeah,
it's
that
an amazing
film.
drama. And then the third one, which I don't know if you guys have seen, I watched it with my mum a couple of months ago. on
he has a
Netflix.
mum.
Dunkirk. I don't
Dun-
know if you've
oh.
seen it, but it's cinematically brilliant. The message is amazing. The fact that it's a true to life story, I thought was amazing.
I'm gonna
And
say something. that
Andrew
will-
Garfield doesn't deserve to be considered Spider-Man, but in this film,
And are you on about Hacksaw Ridge?
I'm sorry, Andrew Garfield.
I was about to say I fell asleep during Dunkirk.
oh no, yeah, that's that one. Oh,
my God.
shit.
Dunkirk is Harry Styles. This is staying in. So Josh
a lot of
Ment,
beeping things out there.
Josh Ment, the 2017 Mel Gibson directed movie Hacksaw Ridge starring Andrew Garfield. Anyway, Josh, carry on while you love Hacksaw Ridge and not Dunkirk.
Andrew Garfield in Dunkirk he's an amazing. He's not Spider-Man, but he is an amazing actor in that film. It's a true to life story. It's just brilliant. It's really well directed.
I will just
I was
counter
gonna say,
that.
have you seen?
Just counter that. I haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, sadly.
I was gonna say
I need to.
I don't think anyone has.
I need to.
it
But
is
about that
genuine.
Spider-Man point,
If-
Andrew Garfield, horrible Peter Parker.
Exactly,
He was
that's
a
what I
good
just said.
Spider-Man though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was
So,
too
um,
weepy and crying all the time.
the,
That's not good.
Oh no,
so
my
the-
girlfriend's back snaps.
So
Neck.
the story
Neck.
of
I was gonna
this
say neck, but I thought it was a
Hacksaw-
back.
It was Whiplash.
Hacksaw Ridge is like basically there's this guy who's a medic and he wants to go to the army but he doesn't want to handle a gun.
Because he's like really Christian, isn't
Yeah, so he spends like
Christian
an entire
Sava.
night. Like there's like this thing called the Hacksaw Ridge where it's like this massive atop a mountain. There's a bunch of like Japanese soldiers like charging them constantly, and they're basically just being sent up there to die. He saves like 80 people in one night by just running around, like sneaking around, picking up people, dragging them back,
Wow.
then like lowering them off of this.
How
thing.
tense is that movie?
Oh,
Is
it's
it like a
ridiculous.
scene where like
Surprisingly.
the troops are running past and like for
He
example
saves
he's-
about 80 films.
Wow,
and it's
I
an
wanna
actual-
see
and
that.
it's a true
Yeah,
story. It
surprisingly,
actually happened.
directed by Mel Gibson.
It's
What other
so-
films
it's
did you
such a
direct?
good drama, it's
Well, Mel
amazing.
Gibson's traditionally more of an actor.
Oh,
Lethal
wait,
Weapon.
Mel Gibson, yeah.
Yeah,
Braveheart, wasn't he?
yeah, he was William Wallace.
That's not entirely accurate, but I appreciate the bit where they pull up their kilts to show off their
Yeah,
moonies.
Braveheart is not. If you are studying William Wallace, do not watch Braveheart. There is a scene where a car drives past in the background.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I just
Actu-
appreciate it in the name of the Scots because
Okay.
we're a bunch of fun.
The films that I chose aren't sort of like as well known as some of the ones that you guys are going to talk about.
Oh no,
so-
no! Trust me,
And
trust me.
I've glanced over and seen.
To
the
be
pacing.
fair, I don't really have any much like ones that recent memory other than maybe Cornetto trilogy.
That's another one. The
The
Cornetto
Cornetto trilogy is
and
pure genius.
And
Yeah.
it is recent memory as well. It's sort of like 2005 Shaun of the Dead came out.
I'm trying to
2007
remember any
Half-Life.
recent because
Recently
I haven't been
because I
watching many
watched it like
films
2
as
weeks
of
ago.
recent.
Yeah, 2013 was The World's End.
Oh no, I have one.
What?
The house that Jack built.
I knew you were going to talk
Haven't
about
seen
that.
it. Nobody,
Oh.
nobody here has seen it except him.
So-
It's okay. I have a movie that
What,
I don't
are
think
we not
anyone
gonna
here has
talk?
talked about.
Oh.
No, no. You
Oh,
can,
okay,
you
okay.
you have the right to talk about the house that Jack
Okay.
built. Go ahead.
I have the
It's
right.
good
Sell
for
it to me.
Dunkirk, though.
I haven't.
You mean
No, I'm joking.
Okay, I was gonna make so. Okay, so the
gonna
house
think
that Jack
for
built
Dunkirk.
is
I think I was just tired though.
it's well
Wait, hang
The
on.
fi-
Before we start talking about Jack, did you build a house?
Yeah, I actually did. It's based on a true story, me. In fact,
well
life
you'd
of
be
me.
you'd enjoy what you built the
Did
house
you do all the
out
messed
of.
up stuff I've heard him describe about this movie?
I was misunderstood.
film-
Okay.
This film, okay, I'm not gonna give away spoilers because you watch it. No, because you watch it for the fact that it is
Is it-
so shocking.
Oh, is it
It
like
is
like watching the
ruthless.
Human Centipede and Saw?
No,
Like,
it's
you
not.
watch it
It's
just
not
to be like-
disturbed as Human Centipede, but
It's on
basically, let me
Netflix.
describe it. I don't know, but I watched it on 1, 2, 3. Anyway,
We're
so
sponsored by Marvel. Can't talk about
but yeah, so this film, I'll sum it up vaguely. Is that it's basically a film that is about a
Just
about
talk
about a psychopath, and it is to be fair, the way they actually, the start of the film is amazing. Though it gets a little bit pushy and obnoxious at the end on terms of the director, like trying to push his views on the people and everything. But it gives such an amazing. I've never seen a psychopath in cinema history given such a realistic representation.
Watch Daredevil season 3.
No one cares.
What, Daredevil season
It's
4?
cancelled. There we go. Meme review. And essentially, if you have a strong gut and you kind of just watch really messed up stuff for the fact that it's interesting and understand about it, highly recommend this film. But I warn you, there's even like clips that are literally of scenes from the Holocaust inside of that. It is a very strong and obnoxious.
Everyone's
Well,
favorite thing.
Fun for the whole family, really.
Yeah, it's
The
it's a
funniest
strong
that
film.
we've ever seen. Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Josh, you can't say that on the podcast.
So let's clip that out.
Our original idea for this was the Holocaust. I think it can
Cast.
stay in. Holocaust.
Paul, what are some of your favourite movies from recent memory?
Well, definitely Hot Fuzz because I watched it like 2 weeks
Hot
ago.
Fuzz
That's
is
amazing.
beautiful.
It
I should
sounds
watch
like
the
a
rest of them,
90s
but
porn.
Have you not seen the rest?
Not the rest
See,
of them.
honestly,
I think
Shaun of the
Dead's on Netflix.
Shaun of the
so
no,
I'm
it's
gonna
on
have to
what's it
find
called though? It's on Amazon.
I have it on DVD.
Shaun of the Dead isn't as good as the other two, but it's still amazing. I know. It's amazing, but it's not as good as the other two.
Unpopular opinion.
When I watched
like
it, I
Shaun of
felt
the
it was
Dead
too
more
short.
than Hot Fuzz.
You see, I like.
In fact, I think I like The World's End more than Hot Fuzz. I
like
love Hot
No.
Fuzz.
The
I
World's
love Hot Fuzz, but
The
there is
World's
only
End.
one Larry King. I
The
love
World-
The World's End
The World's
so
End
much.
is my favourite. Then it's Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. Because Shaun of the Dead was sort of like he was just getting started.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
that could, but
No,
the moment
even-
in the bar when Queen was playing, Pacey won't understand.
Yeah.
He doesn't like Queen, so that's why we hate him. And he hasn't seen Forrest Gump.
Yeah, so we could go on a rant about Pacey not knowing
That's a good
Queen.
idea. Yeah,
So
you get out of here.
I know
Um,
Queen, I just don't listen.
it's okay. We have a medic on set.
No, we don't.
We
Jack is
don't.
gonna
We're
play.
just gonna let him suffer.
Anyway,
So Pacey.
Paul, do you
describe
have any
Queen.
other
We're
movies
gonna go all the way
besides?
back to the 80s for some of my favourite.
Oh,
films.
God. I am also
like,
a man of
I
the
like
80s.
the change. I like the change.
I am
of
also a
pace.
man of the 80s.
Um,
I didn't write any down, but I may bring
They
some
are
up.
brilliant. Music of the 80s, by the way. Listen to that as well. Right.
Of course.
Karate Kid
Shut
2. Karate Kid 2. Have any of you seen it?
I haven't
Two.
seen
The
Karate Kid.
original
I haven't seen the Karate Kid.
Two, that is
The only one I've
that is
seen
an
is
odd
the
one.
new
One of my
remade one.
favourite
That was
films
pretty
of
good.
all
That's an odd one. I would say
The,
Karate
that
Kid
kid-
1,
oh, what's his
not
name?
Karate Kid 2.
Yeah.
They're both
I
brilliant.
can't
It's
even
just-
remember the plot
because
of
it's
2.
going into like Okinawa and it's different culture.
Jaden
I
Smith.
Wait,
like
so did
that.
Karate Kid 2 come out before 1?
No, it came out after.
He just said that's an old one, and then he said I remember 1, and I'm like, oh, but
No,
You-
no, no.
you
I
were really
remember 1
confusing.
being better than
Yeah,
2. I like
oh,
1
okay,
more
Well,
than
one is next to it, is like that probably. 2 here.
Because I can't remember 2 really.
Can't remember it.
No.
Basically,
I got a good
they
film.
both go to Okinawa because Miyagi's
Hey,
father's died.
everybody,
Ah,
go
yeah.
for Okinawa. Hi,
Okay.
Chris.
Hi, sorry.
We've cutted. What's up?
just
Yeah,
watched
I have a film. By the way,
Hold-
to talk about. It's pretty good.
You're done.
You know you'll be done in a
done.
second, mate.
Anyway,
Well,
I
it's
can't
carry
just
on.
my
going
knuckles,
to
but
Okinawa, different culture.
I can try.
I really like it.
okay.
Not
Another
really
film,
like it.
recent memory is probably Back to the Future trilogy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to say the whole trilogy.
I am so desperate to watch those films. I really
You
want
know,
to see
like
them.
Harry
Also-
Potter, there's so
Two's
many
Two's
little.
probably my
Back
favourite
to
out
the
of them as
Future.
well.
Some of the best music in a film.
Mm.
Earth Angel, Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. I remember in my old school when we did music, we were talking about songs in movies, songs created, and I went to miss Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News because I'd watched a Back to the Future documentary the night before. The song was made for Back to the Future, but it was released before. Yeah, originally Huey Lewis and the News didn't want to make a song called Back to the Future. They said, no, you don't have to. It came out before, then it was put Back to the Future. I went, oh, I missed this, and she went, no, that wasn't made for the film. It was put in. And I was so tempted to just go, boy, I watched a documentary.
Boy, I learned from the internet.
Johnny Be
Therefore,
Good,
I am
another
right.
classic. I have all of these songs
Oh,
on
Johnny
my
Be
phone
Good.
right
Do,
now.
do, 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 do. I
Yeah.
tried to learn that. That's
Beautiful.
tough. That is
Back to
tough.
the Future.
I-
Part 3,
yeah.
bit disappointing, but I still love Part 3.
Okay,
Two
right,
is probably
Back to
the best as
Future.
well for me.
Two
Back
is
to
the best.
Future is
What about
amazing.
any others?
Any others?
That's it from recent memory.
Dan, any other films you'd
Um,
like to talk about?
Well,
Obviously
just
not.
like one that's not really that known, I don't think, but it's an old one. and it's Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Now it's not actually
Never heard
a
of it.
Christmas film. I know. It's
It reminds me of Good Night.
it
Mr.
actually
Tom
has
with the title.
it actually has David it has David
I
Barry
don't
in it.
like it though.
David who?
David Barry, the singer.
Barry. I don't know.
Bowie.
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 Just because my accent.
I didn't
Don't
know he
have an
did.
accent.
I
The only
know.
film I know David Bowie did was Labyrinth.
Yeah, same,
Yeah.
and that was an awful film.
I
Don't
should have
get
said
me
bad
started
films that
on
I love. Oh, no, I could have said
Maybe.
that.
That's
yeah.
trash. He kidnaps a baby.
Yeah.
He tries
Anyway.
to marry it.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Cat in the Hat.
But yeah, this film's actually
Oh, yeah.
this film's really powerful because it's about soldiers that are captured and kept as prisoners by I believe it's the Japanese. And and like essentially what happens is David Barry plays the one soldier that stands up to all of this, and he gets beaten, tortured. It's rough. And it's really it's just the ending hits really hard because it focuses on the misunderstanding between the men caught in this war. Because in the end, kind of spoiler, well, I'm not going to say it because you guys should, I highly recommend it.
See, is this
like,
because obviously
it-
David Bowie's known for
Mm.
all of the makeup. Is this
Yeah.
just? So this is
It's
just
just
David, because I've never really seen him without like the
Is
big
David
Yeah.
Bowie?
kind of extravagant
Well,
look.
Yeah.
I guess was David Bowie gay?
No.
Was he not?
No, I'm
Uh,
pretty sure he was married.
You're thinking of George Michael.
No, no.
No.
No. Just like the way.
Wham!
Just the way that he.
Oh,
way
be
that he
careful,
comes
Josh.
across.
Nah, yeah.
The way that he comes across.
Because he's
in
flamboyant and
his film.
yeah.
Yeah, he does come across.
Speaking of Wham, one of my favorite films of recent memory, Deadpool.
Yes. I
Deadpool-
forgot.
Can I just say my
Deadpool
piece?
2.
Too much credit.
Can I just say my
too
piece
much
with
credit
this?
to that film.
Deadpool 1 was a funny film, but not as funny as people said. Deadpool 2 was
I love it.
severely overrated.
Deadpool 2
I've
was
only
so
ever seen
good.
half of Deadpool 1.
Okay. Can I describe as to why these two are really good?
Go on.
Deadpool
then
1,
I'll
it
talk
was
my thoughts.
fresh, it was dangerous, which I liked. You know, like, it wasn't just the boring
Deadpool
slog.
1 was not going to be made until someone leaked the test footage. So,
The
clearly-
yeah.
character Deadpool was amazing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. It was a good film, but I don't think
Mm.
it was an amazing film, but I don't think it deserves
The
as
reason
much credit.
the
Too much
reason
credit.
why Deadpool 2 is amazing is because they know their audience.
Yeah.
And it's not even if the
haven't
film's
seen
good or
it.
bad, it's the fact that they drove the audience straight to home. They were like,
I
oh,
will
because
admit,
they ran with the hype. They were like, you know what? Let's just throw
Juggernaut.
spoiler. I was gonna say spoiler before I said it, but anyway, Juggernaut in there,
Oh.
and then
I think we're a bit past
like they just
spoilers.
had so much hype to it, and also the scene where Juggernaut rips Deadpool in half.
And then little baby
You
legs.
could never ever do that with anything else, any
Yeah,
other Marvel
it's
movie,
just-
and you want to see that happen. You want to see like the Hulk beat someone to a pulp, or Wolverine slash somebody into tiny pieces. You don't really see it because none of them are really R-rated, except from Logan. That was a great film too.
Logan is
I can
great
talk about
film.
that as another
yeah.
one. Yeah.
But yeah, let me talk about why I
Yeah.
chose this.
Sorry, I love them.
I'm specifically choosing Deadpool 1 because Deadpool 1, in my opinion, far superior to 2. Deadpool 2,
Yeah.
still good. I love Deadpool 2.
Mm.
But Deadpool 1, I love everything about it. Ryan Reynolds, born
Yeah.
to play every
Yeah.
little Easter egg and fan reference.
I love how he kisses the guy on the forehead and he's
Yeah.
like, "You run home." I
Just like,
died. It
you
was
know,
too great.
The references to Green Lantern,
Yeah.
the references to the old Deadpool,
The Deadpool.
the comic book references. In the comics, the reason Ryan Reynolds discovered he would be great to play Deadpool and why people started casting him is because there's a comic. There's a scene where he rips off his mask and he goes, "I know, looks like Ryan Reynolds got bit by a radioactive Shar-Pei." And there's literally a scene where he shows his face to Weasel,
Yeah.
Weasel, whatever
yeah, I
TJ Miller
forget
is,
his name.
and he says, "I know, looks like I was bitten by a radioactive Shar-Pei."
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that kind of fan reference.
Also,
All the fourth wall breaking. I love the
Yeah.
scene. One of my favorite jokes in cinematic history. I know what you're thinking. Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own film?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say, but it does rhyme with Wolverine. And let me tell you, he's got a nice pair of smooth criminals down under. That's one of the greatest.
The Australian accent is built for comedy.
And then
Yeah.
you know when he's about to beat up Francis, Colossus is behind him. Dad? Just everything about it. Ryan Reynolds is perfect in
he
that
should have
role.
said "Dad" when he grabbed his.
He did.
Oh, he did when he,
did.
said it, and
he
then
lifts his head back.
I
hits-
thought so,
hit
but it was in the
Colossus'
back of
crotch,
my
and then
head.
he goes, "Dad," and then he gets like thrown.
That's so
Yeah,
weird.
Um,
yeah, it is an amazing.
Wait, can we
film.
please talk about the
What?
ending scene, like the post-credit scene of Deadpool 2? He goes back and kills himself before he
Ryan
signs the
Reynolds
contract.
played 4 different roles in that film.
That's crazy.
He played Deadpool. He played
Hims-
Juggernaut.
himself.
He played
Did
himself,
he?
and
Wait, he
put-
played Juggernaut?
Yeah, he voiced Juggernaut. Not a lot of people knew that.
Yo, Wow.
Yeah, because he didn't credit himself as it. And
Wow.
also,
he's a
he
champ.
went back into the role of X-Men Origins Wolverine Deadpool in the end credit scene where he shot himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So he played
he's
4
a
different roles in
committed
that
guy.
film. He's very
Yeah.
committed. But
I love Ryan Reynolds. He's great.
Another
he's
film?
great.
Yeah,
He's
Man's
brilliant.
Bodyguard as well. That was a good
Oh,
one.
That is
yeah.
an amazing.
I haven't
film.
finished that. I
Absolutely
haven't
amazing.
Or
finished
should I
that.
say Samuel Jackson?
another film
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that came out recently that I love. I'm not a fan of horror. I hate being scared. But A Quiet Place
Puss.
Right, I've only seen the kill count.
A
of
Quiet
this,
Place.
but-
was so... There's a kill
Spoiled.
count to A
Have
Quiet
you
Place.
have you had it spoiled for you?
Oh no, not quite. I was thinking of Get Out. Sorry, my
Oh,
bad.
never mind.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place.
Okay,
Get Out, also amazing. But A Quiet
I
Place.
haven't seen that.
So beautifully acted. Emily Blunt,
I have seen clips from
amazing
this.
as the mum. James, oh god, I got his name wrong. John Krasinski.
It's fantastic.
he
Not
is
only-
amazing.
Not only
He's
was he
amazing
amazing
actor.
as the role of the father, he was
Mm.
also he directed it and co-wrote the script.
He's literally that man is
actors.
so versatile.
Yeah,
It
he's-
is incredible.
Yeah, because up until this point, really, he was known for The Office. He did one of the only good Michael Bay films to come out recently, 24 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Bang High. If you haven't seen that film,
That's a
Watch
long
it.
name.
watch it. It's good.
You
It's
know
his
it's
first-
Michael Bay.
It's his first serious film. It's the reason he got into shape.
Yeah,
You know, just the theme.
dude,
of,
can just.
just the theme of what one man will do to protect his family.
Yeah,
That's
it
powerful.
is.
That's a
the
powerful.
the
film.
premise
Really is.
itself very different. Originally, the original screenplay for A Quiet Place only had 1 line of dialogue,
Yeah.
but obviously that one. It
What
ki-
was that one line? Do you
I don't know,
No.
but it kind of reminds me. When I think of The Quiet Place, I think of this horror poem, and it's literally a set 2
Horror
sentences.
poem?
Yeah,
Mm.
it goes: "The last man on earth sits in his room all alone. He hears a knock at the door."
That's it.
Like when I think of Quiet Place, I think of that. I don't know why, but just
Yeah.
it's such a suspense of horror because, and just the detail in that when they go into the shop, all the crisps are left.
yeah.
All the crisps are left on the shelf. That is genius.
Yeah.
I love it. I love A Quiet Place so much. I'm
One problem
disappointed
where I got
that Emily Blunt. Actually, no. I think Emily Blunt has been nominated for Best Actress.
I don't know.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to look that up. If she isn't, what the
Not
hell are you
to-
doing, the Academy?
Not to be confused with Bird Box, who people are like, yeah, they're like very similar films. It's like,
Bird
yeah,
Box
but,
is just
They're not.
okay.
but
Yeah,
Bird
Bird
Box
Box is-
isn't as good as people were saying it was. Sandra
Bird Box
Bullock
was literally
amazing,
used to actually preach stuff, but I ain't gonna go
but
into
it's
that
nowhere
detail.
near as good as.
Wait,
was
could
gonna
I
say
say one
Quiet
problem
Place.
with Quiet Place?
Go on, what's your problem with it?
You're gonna not like this.
What?
It's that they did reveal the monster way too early on. Now, I understand it still works. It still works. But I wish that first scene where we see the monster get the kid, I wish
Yeah,
that
but
we
you don't
didn't.
see it.
You do.
You don't fully see it.
No, the
You
thing
see
is, no,
glimpses
no,
of
wait,
it. That's
Pacey,
not a full
Pacey.
reveal.
The reason why that's a reveal of a monster. It doesn't matter if it's a full reveal or not. If you see it, your brain gets this idea of it that's like, oh, okay, it's just a quadrupedal creature. Like the thing is with horror, and you're not a big fan of horror, so you haven't seen a bunch of like
I am
horrors and
quite-
everything.
I don't like to watch
Yeah.
horror films, but I do like.
The clips
Yeah.
I've seen of
Horror
Quiet
the
Place
the
is
the, the
amazing.
main selling point is the
The monster.
unknown.
I know,
You do no, it's not
but
the
I
monster.
think-
It's the power of the unknown.
Yeah, but
We
also
scare
there
what
is
we-
that
we're
big theme of the
feared-
unknown.
yeah.
Yeah, you get a glimpse of what they look like, but we don't
But
know why
To
they're
be
here.
fair,
What
that's-
like the dad literally
Yeah.
has that board.
But
full
you have to admit, if you didn't see what killed the kid, that would just be
Honestly,
like,
I don't
it would
think,
be
I don't think
perfect.
the
The film would
monsters
be
themselves
perfect.
were meant to be the scary part. I think it was what
Yeah.
they could do.
yeah.
my issue with
Any
the film
sound.
I know.
is
It's
that
just like in terms of
there's a
the
lot that they could
tension.
have gone into. I think that they could make another one where they talk about when it first started,
Yeah.
because people running around screaming about these massive monsters is
Hmm.
gonna intrigue them more, and I just don't understand how they sort of figured out maybe it's the
Hmm.
noise that is
Yeah.
making
Well,
them kill
I got
people.
2 more films One,
Like from Resident
universally,
Evil.
I think we'll all agree. So I'll start with that. Infinity War.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I was like, too obvious.
We've already talked enough about it. I
but
think
one of my
everyone knows
favourites.
we all loved Infinity War. But here's a film.
deserves the Oscars that it
Here's a film
nominated
I watched that I absolutely loved.
I got one.
Speaking of Infinity War, it stars Ant-Man himself,
for. I
Paul
know
Rudd.
this one. I love this film.
Stars Paul Rudd, Selena
Selena
Gomez, and
Gomez.
Craig Roberts. I had to look up his name. I just labelled him as Disabled Kid. The fundamentals
It
of
is
caring.
Brilliant.
I didn't know you loved this film.
Yes,
it is
it's amazing.
beautiful.
What is it?
My
Alright,
sister told me
basically,
about it.
basically, Paul Rudd plays a carer.
Yeah,
So he goes through
Word is
a course
He
goes through this course, called the Fundamentals of Caring, which teaches people how to care for others. He gets a job looking for this kid who's got like a rare disease where he can't move. He can't move his body.
Hmm.
He's wheelchair bound.
Wait, is that
He slowly- That's Craig Roberts.
No, I'm trying to remember the disease.
Oh, I don't know. It's not what
Don't
Stephen
matter.
Hawking had, but it would also mean he'd die young. So
Lou
literally,
Gehrig's could be.
I
Sorry,
can't remember.
it's just
but literally,
it just had it in
this
my head.
kid, the first time you're introduced to him, the mum goes, "Yeah, he can't move. He's a bit, he's a bit special. He's different to other kids." And his first introductions, he wheels in and he goes like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and he like bashes into walls, and he's like, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" And the mum just goes, "Stop it," and he just goes, "You all right?" Like he's just such a prankster, and he spends all his time watching TV. He eats the same meals every day.
Is it a pretty
That's
beautiful
why I
film
connect.
then?
Is
Like, is
beautiful.
it
And then
emotional as well?
Fundamentals of Caring. It's on Netflix. Yeah,
Yes,
literally.
the
Hon-
ending-
hon- hon-
Don't
I will
spoil.
talk about
Don't
that.
spoil. Don't
I
spoil.
will-
Because
I
I
will-
really
I will
want to
talk
watch
about-
this
yeah,
with Lou.
I will
like,
talk about that. Literally, so him and Paul Rudd start to bond. When you're wiping a teenage boy's butt, you tend to grow
the
a bond.
essence of bonding,
Yeah,
guys.
And basically,
I think Ian Paice
Paul
would
Rudd's
be
You
character.
ever want to know how to get married? Just wipe their bottom.
Paul
Done.
Rudd's character has a mysterious past that I won't reveal, which shows why. Like he's trying to in the film, he's caring for this kid, but his wife is
No,
also
please don't spoil them.
his wife is also trying to divorce him, and you find out why he's
It's
caring
like
for this
Ant-Man,
person,
yeah.
and his wife's trying to divorce
Okay,
him.
let's not describe it anymore.
no.
Just
But literally, the plot is basic plot. Disappointed
Where I
that
got
Emily Blunt. Actually, no. I think Emily Blunt has been nominated for Best Actress.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to look that up. If she isn't, what the
not
hell are you
to-
doing, the Academy?
Not to be confused with Bird Box, who people are like, yeah, they're like very similar films. It's like,
Bird
yeah,
Box
but,
is just
They're not.
okay.
but
Yeah,
Bird
Bird
Box
Box is-
isn't as good as people were saying it was. Sandra
Bird
Bullock
Box was literally
amazing,
used to actually preach stuff, but I ain't gonna go
but
into
it's
that
nowhere
detail.
near as good as.
Wait,
was
could
gonna
I
say
say one
Quiet
problem
Place.
with Quiet Place?
Go on, what's your problem with it?
You're gonna not like this.
What?
It's that they did reveal the monster way too early on. Now, I understand it still works. It still works. But I wish that first scene where we see the monster get the kid, I wish
Yeah,
that
but
we
you don't
didn't.
see it.
You do.
You don't fully see it.
No, the thing
you
is,
see
no,
glimpses
no,
of
wait,
it. That's not a
Pacey,
full
Pacey.
reveal.
The reason why that's a reveal of a monster, it doesn't matter if it's a full reveal or not. If you see it, your brain gets this idea of it that's like, oh, okay, it's just a quadrupedal creature. Like the thing is with horror, and you're not a big fan of horror, so you haven't seen a bunch of like
I am
horrors and
quite.
everything.
I don't like to watch
Yeah.
horror films, but I do like.
Yeah.
horror films.
The main selling point is the
The monster.
unknown.
I know,
You do no, it's not
but
the
I
monster.
think-
It's the power of the unknown.
Yeah, but
We
also
scare-
there is
we-
that
we're
big theme of the
feared-
unknown.
yeah.
Yeah, you get a glimpse of what they look like, but we don't
But
know why
To
they're
be
here.
fair,
What
that's-
like the dad literally
Yeah.
has that board.
But
full
you
of-
have to admit, if you didn't see what killed the kid, that would just be
Honestly,
like,
I don't
it would
think,
be
I don't
perfect.
think the
The film would
monsters
be
themselves
perfect.
were meant to be the scary part. I think it was what
Yeah.
they could do.
yeah.
My issue with
Any
the film
sound.
I know.
is
It's
that
just like in terms of
there's a
the
lot that they could
tension.
have gone into. I think that they could make another one where they talk about when it first started,
Yeah.
because people running around screaming about these massive monsters are also
Hmm.
gonna intrigue them more, and I just don't understand how they sort of figured out maybe it's the
Hmm.
noise that is
Yeah.
making
Well,
them kill
I got
people.
2 more films.
Hmm.
One,
like from Resident Evil.
universally, I think we'll all agree. So I'll start with that. Infinity War.
Yeah. I was gonna say that, but I was
do
like,
we-
too
we've
obvious.
already
We've
talked
spoken
enough
about
about it. I think
One of my
everyone
favourites.
knows we all loved Infinity War. But here's a film.
Deserves the Oscars that it
Here's
is
a film
nominated
I
for.
watched that I absolutely loved.
I got one.
Speaking of Infinity War, it stars Ant-Man himself,
I
Paul
know
Rudd.
this one. I love this film.
Stars Paul Rudd, Selena
Selena
Gomez, and
Gomez.
Craig Roberts. I had to look up his name. I just labelled him as Disabled Kid. The fundamentals
It
of
is
caring.
Brilliant.
I didn't know you loved this film.
Yes,
it is
it's
beautiful.
amazing.
What is it?
My
Alright,
sister told me
basically,
about it.
basically, Paul Rudd plays a carer.
Yeah,
So he goes through
Rudd is
a course
He
goes through this course called the Fundamentals of Caring, which teaches people how to care for others. He gets a job looking for this kid who's got like a rare disease where he can't move. He can't move his body.
Hmm.
He's wheelchair bound.
Wait, is that
He slowly- That's Craig Roberts.
No, I'm trying to remember the disease.
Oh, I don't know. It's not
Don't
what
matter.
Stephen Hawking had, but it would also mean he'd die young. So
Lou
literally,
Gehrig's could be.
I don't. I
Sorry,
can't remember.
it's just
but literally,
it just had it in
this
my head.
kid, the first time you're introduced to him, the mum goes, "Yeah, he can't move. He's a bit, he's a bit special. He's different to other kids." And his first introductions, he wheels in and he goes like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and he like bashes into walls, and he's like, "Is he okay? Is he okay?" And the mum just goes, "Stop it," and he just goes, "You all right?" Like he's just such a prankster, and he spends all his time watching TV. He eats the same meals every day.
Is it a pretty beautiful
why I
film
connect.
then?
Is
Like, is
beautiful.
it
And then
emotional as well?
Fundamentals of Caring. It's on Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
The
Hold-
ending-
hold-
Don't, don't
I will
spoil.
talk about
Don't
that.
spoil. Don't
I
spoil.
will-
Because
I
I
will-
really
I will
want to
talk
watch
about-
this
yeah,
with Lou.
I will
like,
talk about that. Literally. So, him and Paul Rudd start to bond. When you're wiping a teenage boy's butt, you tend to grow
the
a bond.
essence of bonding,
Yeah,
guys.
yes, it's a-
And basically,
I think Ian Paice
Paul Rudd's
became-
You
character.
ever want to know how to get married? Just wipe their bottom.
Paul
Done.
Rudd's character has a mysterious past that I won't reveal, which shows why. Like he's trying to in the film, he's caring for this
Now we're
kid,
worried about
but his
spoilers.
wife is
No,
also
please don't spoil them.
his wife is also trying to divorce him, and you find out why he's
That's
caring
like
for this
Ant-Man,
person,
Yeah.
and his wife's trying to divorce
Okay,
him.
let's not describe it anymore.
no.
Just
But literally, the plot is basic plot. This kid, he has a map. He always watches this one news reporter. He says she's really good looking.
Because she has massive tits.
Yeah, that's that,
Beep.
that's the
But
joke
it-
he makes.
but
That's the
that's
joke
the
he makes.
thing.
But
Yeah.
and she's like showing this really pointless, the world's biggest cow, and he wheels off. He's like,
I can
Paul,
make a
Paul
joke
Rudd's like,
there.
Paul Rudd is like, what are you doing? And he brings back a map and he marks it and he goes, these are all the places I like to visit, and the big one
Oh.
is the deepest hole in the world. It's literally just
I
a
can make
massive
a
hole
joke
with
about
water at the
that,
bottom.
dude.
And the kid really only has two wishes: to see the world's biggest hole before he dies, and to pee standing up.
Yes, that is
Oh,
hilarious.
lads.
And
Anyway,
so,
don't say
I
anymore.
won't say, but they go
'Cause
on a
there's a
road
lot
trip.
of-
Mix of
yeah.
They go on a
comedy
road
and
trip.
general
Paul Rudd
twist.
convinces the mum to let him take the son on a road trip. They go across the country visiting all this stuff. Selena Gomez gets involved as the love interest. They get to the world's deepest hole. Everything starts to happen. There's a beautiful scene between Paul Rudd and Craig Roberts. Josh knows the one I'm on about.
Stop. Stop. I don't.
And then
I'm
the
gonna
ending-
zone out on past
The ending.
Have you
Yeah.
seen
I'll tell you. The ending. It makes you want to cry at first and then
Yeah.
laugh.
You bust out laughing.
Yeah. I almost cried
Genuinely.
and then I laughed.
I was like,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I
going to
wish-
see this film.
I wish I could tell you why, but it's like an
I
hour
think
and a
it's on
half.
Netflix, that's
Go
why I watched
home.
it.
Everyone watching this, go home,
Nobody's
watch the
watching
fundamentals.
this,
No one's
especially up
watching
to
it.
here.
Watch
If you're
the
watching this.
fundamentals of caring. It is a beautiful movie.
It's a masterpiece.
Absolutely, it's a master. I'm so glad that you understand the beauty of it.
I mean, it sounds
It's Paul
absolutely
Rudd.
Sounds amazing.
magical.
It's
It
Paul
sounds
Rudd.
Looks like
magical.
it's got
It is.
comedy,
It's so good.
animation,
I
Yeah.
remember just.
everything.
He was
It
in
was
the
just
40
one
Year Old
night.
Virgin as well, Paul
It
Rudd.
was like late.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like late
My
one
life?
night. It was late one night, and I sat there. I was scrolling through Netflix, and suddenly it went like
Scrolling
new
through Netflix.
releases. It went new releases, and I saw Fundamentals of Caring. I thought this looks a bit rubbish, and I went Paul
I'm
Rudd,
gonna
Selena
watch it
Gomez.
anyway.
I'll give it a try. And by the end, I was going,
They're like two actors that you wouldn't expect.
I want to
to
watch
do.
this all over. I've watched the Fundamentals of
I'm
Caring
trying to
so
remember
many
who
times,
Selena
and each
Gomez
time
is again. Like for some reason, I
She
forgot.
the
was.
singer, Wizards
I
of
thought
Waverly Place.
Yeah.
Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yeah, she was on like old Disney Channel.
Yeah,
like
old Disney.
2009
Uh,
Disney Channel.
Yeah, I recognize it's just not coming.
Can't
Uh,
keep
by
my
the
hands
way,
to myself.
Anybody else
That's
have
not
stuff?
her.
Yeah, it is.
Swear.
No, it's Selena Gomez.
Okay. Thought it
you
was Queen.
No.
Joking.
Yeah, I think they got it.
Let's go to the Queens.
So,
Okay.
speaking of Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie. That is.
Amazing.
Oh, it's great. So I've been a big fan of Queen for a long time, but never really understood them as much as the movie made me, and it was amazing.
It was a powerful
Especially
film.
like
It was
just the cinematography and everything was so
also the
crisp.
the
And
music they got dead
Yeah.
right. You
I
know that last
haven't-
performance, the drum
Yeah,
was
it was
every
yeah,
part.
I haven't-
if you-
watch
wait,
the, if you watch the live Band Aid performance,
Yeah.
and
Like,
then the
sync
actual
it out.
they,
it
he
was
even did the
amazing.
tongue thing to the
Yes.
camera and the exact like
Yeah.
Yeah,
the thing at the
two
exact
things.
camera angle.
I
Amazing.
haven't seen it. I have seen the scene
You're
where
seeing it n- you're
I have
seeing
seen
it.
the scene where he tells his girlfriend that he's gay,
Mm.
because my brother was watching it, and I do know at the end of the Live Aid thing, which is like the final scene, Band-Aid, whatever.
Mm.
There's that scene where
It's just
there's that
spotting in
scene.
the background.
You know, they all walk off stage,
Mm.
and I found out they walk off stage in the order each member left the band.
We-
So obviously, yeah,
Really?
Freddie walks off first because obviously he died
Wait.
because he was deaf. I don't know who walked off next, but
because
uh,
it's the
someone else who
drummer-
left the
Well,
band.
the drummer and the guitarist helped with the film. I think.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
alive,
and then
so,
the
yeah.
two others, the
Trying.
drummer and guitarist,
Actually,
they
the
don't leave the
guitarist
stage.
looked
They don't leave the
exactly
stage. He just face
The-
back because they still
Guys,
remain disappointed.
guys, the actor who played Ryan May looked more Ryan May than he did. Like, have you
He's-
seen
he's
the
brilliant.
guitarist?
The guitarist
Perfect
looked
replica.
Exactly.
Perfect
He was the
replica.
I think Freddie was next, and the bass and the drummer
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah,
You
like
know
like,
what was an
like
interesting
like we
choice?
talked about
There was, like,
earlier,
one-
the drummer couldn't
Mm.
play the
There
drums.
was
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
criticism that they got was that his eyes weren't the same color.
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's
he
what I was
couldn't
gonna
handle
mention.
The, because he couldn't handle the context. That
Oh,
they
is that
used.
why?
Wait, who's this on?
Rami Malek is his name.
Yeah, Rami
Oh,
Malek.
Freddie. Wait,
Yeah,
what
they,
colour was Freddie's eyes?
Freddie's eyes were deep brown.
yeah, and
I
his-
thought they
so-
were. I thought
No,
Rami
no.
Malek's
and then
were
they're
brown.
green.
No, Rami Malek's is a blue.
Oh, are they?
Have they
You ever
played
played Until Dawn? Yeah, they're blue.
Until Dawn's good. Yeah.
Until Dawn, good game.
Play
Should
that.
make
It's a
it
good
into a
game.
film.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
it technically already is.
Yeah, it basically
Well,
is. Just watch on
But
YouTube.
yeah, so they his eyes were not the same color as Freddie Mercury, and that was like the one criticism that people could find about it. 'Cause it's
But that's
such a
just
perfect
nitpicking
film.
at that
That
point.
is
Exactly.
nitpicking.
That they
They
had
got
to
everything else bang
they
on.
had to resort to nitpicking.
do you mean?
And also,
Oh.
Forrest Gump is the best film ever created. I don't care what.
No,
Yeah,
I
that
would
was-
argue Bohemian Rhapsody is.
Okay.
Not the best film ever created.
Well
I
then.
feel like historically it's the best, like in terms of teaching, like
Right.
and passion.
Anyway, that has been the
Moving
end
on.
of part one.
The podcast.
Next week we will
What
be
about the
talking about.
DJPP podcast, guys? Come on.
Next week we will be talking about some
Don't-
other
don't-
subjects.
Don't say that we're going to talk about a specific thing because the
We
chances
will be
are-
talking about
We'll
the best
just go off on a
TV
waffle.
shows of recent memory and possibly the Oscars. Tune in next week.
No one tuned in this
Woo!
week.
Shut up. Tune in
Bye-bye.
next week.
Tune out now.
Podcast.
Hey, we did it!